one-ton, two-wheel drives, and four-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back to Veteran Memorial Stadium in Snohomish, Washington. Glacier Peak Grizzlies 2-0 on the season. They'll face off crosstown rival Jackson Timberwolves. Not faring quite as well, 0-2. The pregame festivities are in the book. The flag is a bit limp in the east end zone. A beautiful night for football, 65 degrees. Keith Neely alongside Nolan Dale. And what we expect to be a fantastic rivalry matchup.
Yeah, this is always a cool game. Back when I played football, this was called the Battle for Applebee's. The winner of the game got the rights to go to Applebee's after the game. So hopefully that tradition still carries on. So
does that mean the loser couldn't poke a toe into the door?
Yeah, definitely
that's how that
not.
worked.
Yeah, you control the establishment.
I gotcha. Well, we'll see how the battle for the restaurant goes tonight. The toss has been won by Glacier Peak. They will defer to the second half. Jackson will receive in the east end zone, heading in front of us from right to left. And if you heard Ron Henthorn's pregame coin toss there, they did choose and do a little deal to allow Glacier Peak to wear the home white jerseys tonight to support the whiteout that's in the crowd. And I have to say, both crowds, Jackson traveling well, and of course Glacier Peak always putting the bodies in this Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, this is a big game, and the traditional Glacier Peak going completely whiteout. That was always a fun game to be a part of. We'll see here tonight if both teams can get their offense going. It's been a hard time for Jackson and Glacier Peak these last 2 weeks. Jackson going 80-3 and a point differential. 3-80, having only scored 3 points in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, minus, 37 is the least of the differentials. And that one will get booted out of the end zone off the foot of Braden Corwin.
Braden Corwin being the Renaissance man for Glacier Peak. That was kind of the nickname I bestowed upon him last week so graciously. He's 3 touchdowns on the season in the air and kicks all their extra points.
So piling up the scores, but right now let's talk about the Jackson Timberwolves, who come onto the field, have struggled a bit. We got a chance to talk to first-year head coach Mason Siddick as we got things started this afternoon in preparation for this game. He had a lot of extremely positive things. We'll get to it here. Under center goes the starting quarterback, and that is Nathan Clark, and that will be about an A-gapper on the right-hand side. They'll push it forward 2 yards, second down and 8.
Yeah, just like the coach has said pregame, they're going to go right to the run game. Just a simple stretch play to the right, and hopefully you can get 4 yards every time. 3's not going to do it on 3 downs, so hopefully they can pick it up. It's been a hard time for both teams.
Running game on the artificial turf here without any moisture to speak of. No precipitation in the works tonight. You should be able to go through the air and through the ground. There's the play action. No, they'll give it around the right end. It'll go to Dylan Owen, the 6-foot, 175-pounder.
That was a nice fake by the quarterback there. Kind of looks off the linebackers by keeping his eyes downfield and ends up giving it probably a RPO there, which we're seeing a lot in these high school offenses nowadays. The quarterback's smart enough to key off on his safety. It's a really good weapon to have.
Owen, a senior for this. Excuse me, I've got the wrong. Let's get the right roster in front of it. Of course, Owen playing for the Peak Grizzlies. And now we'll go around right end again, about first down, but a penalty flag flies behind the play, about the 25-yard line.
That's Brendan Sandico around the edge again. Same play. We'll see if he comes back on the.
Represents the hanky, the first one we've seen tonight. And not usually a good sign on the offense if it's thrown in the backfield. It would be a first down, and we do have a hold call.
Yeah, number 73, Mason Bridges, talking to the refs immediately about that. Jackson had a good job setting the edge, and I guess we see why.
One of the things head coach Mason Siddick wanted to stress in this third game of his tenure with the Jackson Timberwolves was sustaining drives, making sure that they could keep the good things that have been happening in those kind of lopsided losses. And he figures if they can get a good sustained drive, even one or two, they will make a big impact in tonight's ball game. Rolling out to the left-hand side on the move, almost picked off. Did he get control before he went out of bounds? No, they'll wave it off.
Number 34, Ryan Black, almost with a pick there. And number 50 for Glacier Peak, Hunter Morrison, with good pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, talking about sustained drives there, Keith, I don't think there's any more beautiful to a coach than a drive that's just 4 yards after 4 yards after 4 yards. Because if you can keep that going, you're eating clock and you're ending up with a touchdown at the end of that drive.
Well, it looked pretty good to start the game off for Jackson. He got a couple of runs off that right-hand side, and the holding penalty really put the nail in the first drive coffin. And back to kick on the punt is Daniel Yoon, and he'll kind of sidewind it and caught at the 50-yard line. Be great field position for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies as they get their offense started on their first possession. 10:31 to go here, first quarter, just underway at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Thanks for being a part of our evening and every evening on STSPN.
Yeah, number 85, Matthew Torgensen, was a big weapon for Glacier Peak last week. Hopefully we see him go to him a lot. He's a big guy. He's 6 foot, 160. Nice tight end build.
Tyson Lang, the quarterback, 6'2", this junior quarterback, 190 pounds, a little bit onto the right-hand side, and some big pickup, and immediately hollering for the trainer to come over is number 44. That's Trevor Meldrum. And the junior looks like he caught a toe on the turf and did go down a little funky.
That's unfortunate for Glacier Peak. Trevor Meldrum was also a big part of the receiving corps last week. He's very good at those bubble routes there. If he goes down, we could probably see a change of pace for Glacier Peak. Hopefully he's all right.
We're going to take a break here, guys. This is kind of look more serious. They're calling in the 8-car.
Ron Henthorn, the voice you hear there. We will take a short time out here. 10:15, no score, first quarter. Glacier Peak and Jackson.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200+ national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
A hush over the fans in the crowd here, the faithful.
We got
looking down at the injured
Trevor Meldrum.
Trevor Meldrum, who we were trying to analyze what happened up here. I certainly don't want to misspeak or say something that didn't happen, but from our best angle and our viewpoint, it looked like the right foot just got a little bit tucked into the turf. I didn't see that there was any body that or opposing player that tackled him funny, or certainly no foul play whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that's just an unfortunate tackle from the turf monster, as they say. And hopefully Trevor Meldrum is going to be okay. Obviously a very serious situation with the aid cart coming out onto the field.
Shane Keck is, of course, hovering over the top, as is the trainer and the staff, Pan Zosic. And this tough situation. Their first play from scrimmage, you get the ball back on a 4, not quite a 4 down, a 5 down defensive stand. Get the ball in some good field position if you're Glacier Peak. And
yeah,
this can take the wind out of you, Nolan.
Yeah, this is not what you want on your opening drive at all. As a football player, watching one of your brothers go down like that, it gets emotional in very many ways. You start wanting to maybe, take payback in some ways, or something like this where they go down without any foul play. It kind of gets to your head about injury, and hopefully Glacier Peak can maintain themselves here and finish out this game for Trevor Meldrum.
Of course, it's very unfortunate for Glacier Peak to lose one of their top players in the opening drive, but it's also got to be going through the head of the Jackson Timberwolves. We talk rivalry game. These kids know each other without a doubt. You've played in the neighborhood with Trevor. You know who he is, and it's got that same injury mentality, especially so fast, has got to be going through the Timberwolves as it is for Glacier Peak.
Yeah, as intense as rivalries can get, that's one neat thing about high school football is that the guys on the other side of the ball most of the time are your friends. So I'm sure they're feeling for Trevor Meldrum on the other side of the football also, and only wish him the best.
We will take another quick break here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, STSPN broadcast of Wesco football. 10:15 on the clock, first quarter. We'll take another quick break.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish, Glacier Peak, and Jackson. No score here first quarter, as we are watching in the lower right-hand corner there, the injury to Trevor Meldrum, and the junior having his arm immobilized. We won't speculate any more than that, other than they're going to make sure that he is well taken care of, and the precautions are going to be very strong here to make sure that this kid's football career continues.
Absolutely. Another big game going on across town right now, Lake Stevens versus Monroe. Do we have a score update? 7-7 right now. Very huge game. Stevens
knotted up, you bet. And watching Lake Stevens Monroe, that they talk about a rivalry game, and Monroe came out of the season gangbusters and then slipped just a bit to Woodinville. Could easily be 2-0.
Easily. Trevor Meldrum now being lifted up onto the cart, and his teammates surrounding him.
And we're getting the 81-yard by Chisholm for Monroe. Equalized the score.
Wow.
For the Bearcats.
An 81-yard run.
That'll get her done.
Against the Lake Stevens defense. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've always said Monroe's been building a really good program out there.
Well, in big plays in high school football, you get, 3, 4 of them maybe a game?
Yeah, they're.
And if one's an 81-yard run, that you'll take that.
You'll
chop
every
that one
single
right
time,
up.
Yeah. Sometimes it only takes 3 or 4 big plays to win that game. So when you break them, you got to take advantage.
So our best to Trevor Meldrum, as he is going to get some expert care. And something every mom and dad in the stands, when they have the faithful out here, that's the one thing you want to make sure these kids are taken care of.
Yeah, if any Trevor Meldrum family is listening, our best goes out to you, and hopefully Trevor can recover quickly.
No score. Plenty other contests going on as they get Trevor off the field here. Mount Vernon at Cascade was the early game at Everett Memorial. Shorecrest Everett will be the late game at Everett Memorial. Woodinville at Edmonds Woodway is the early game. Woodinville sure looking strong this year again.
Woodinville looking very good this year.
And in the late game, Meadowdale it will play Linwood, 2 home Edmonds Stadium teams. And then Sultan Cedar Crest, Oak Harbor Cedro Woolley. Cleveland plays Archbishop Murphy. Kamiak at Mariner, another rivalry game at Goddard Stadium. Of course, we mentioned the 7-7 Monroe Lake Stevens game, and we'll get to the others around the league. But we'll play a little football here. They'll mark it short of the first down on the first play from scrimmage for Glacier Peak. 2nd down and 1. And in the shotgun formation, Lang back. He'll swing it out to the right-hand side, caught and moved on and up for 20 yards. And easily a first down.
Dylan Owen.
And there's Owen. We mentioned him earlier for the wrong side of the ball.
That's a nice play there. That's a screen, bringing the lineman out in front. Dylan Owen makes a nice jump cut to the left, finds the seam and runs right up it. That's a really explosive play from Glacier Peak, only on the second play.
Trips on the far side. Soul in the set behind Lang. There's the handoff, and once again, Owen will take it 4, maybe 5 yards into the pile and bring up 2nd down and 5.
Dylan Owen showing great vision on these last 2 plays. He sees the stretch flow hard to the right, finds the wall, jump cuts to the left, again showing his moves, and gets a nice 5 yards.
Proven he's the two-tool player so far with a swing out pass on the screen. And here's another one, except this time they're going deep. Caught over the shoulder. Touchdown, Glacier Peak.
There he is, number 85, Matthew Torgensen. That's a dime throw by Tyson Lang, right over the shoulder, going for that rear pylon. Glacier Peak coming out strong, scoring in 4 plays.
And the setup was the little swing fake to none other than Dylan Owen.
They were definitely looking for Dylan.
And everybody bit. And a beautiful, beautiful, picture-perfect pass to the far pylon.
And we talk about efficient drives there. 4 plays.
4 plays, 46 yards on the drive. And the PAT is up and through, and Glacier Peak will start the scoring. 9:10 to go, first quarter. Grizzlies on top by 7 over the T-Wolves. We'll take a break on STSPN.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Misplay.
A broken play.
So an error.
Yeah, it's a broken play.
Oh, we're on?
Talking about the Snohomish game, we just got an update back here, Jackson versus Glacier Peak.
Grady Kinch fumbles the ball from quarterback pressure, picks it back up, scoop and score from 20 yards out. That's a big quarterback, 6'5", 230.
2:30, and on a broken play, you can score 6. That's the one you'll definitely be thankful for, because that does not happen that often. As Glacier Peak will kick back off on a little short pooch kick to the 30-yard line, and it may be the equivalent of an onside. Nobody from Jackson calls for the ball, and Glacier Peak will recover.
Wow, that's a huge play from Glacier Peak there. We had a couple Jackson Timberwolves standing around staring at the ball. Glacier Peak hunts it down. That's a big decision by head coach Kench there, and it comes up big.
And obviously a planned and practiced kick, because that thing came off just about as well as any onside kick could.
It went right into the spacing between all the Timberwolves, and I don't think anybody knew who was supposed to go for the ball there.
Obviously some miscommunication by the Jackson Timberwolves wearing the visiting black jerseys. And one more time, back in the shotgun formation, back to pass. Goes Lang, and just through the outstretched hands of number 30, Preston Weaver.
Hey, Ronnie, what'd you see down there on that onside kick?
Well, that was a great onside kick, and I think it's a learning experience here for the Jackson boys tonight. They didn't realize it was an onside kick. They just thought it was a kickoff that wasn't being fielded, but heads-up play for GP for picking that ball up.
Absolutely. Not a punt.
Yeah, it is not a punt. Todd Elvig, the 5-tool player, as Scott Ohsman would say. Absolutely right. This time to the left-hand side. One of the first times we've seen a little bounce out of the pile. Stood up and still moving those feet forward. Down to the 15-yard line, and another Glacier Peak first down.
We're seeing another wheel route-esque throw there from Taylor Lang. Right there to Patrick McKenzie. McKenzie doing a lot of good work there, keeping moving upfield and not going down easy, pushing off defenders, trying to find open lanes.
Only pass downfield was the touchdown so far.
Absolutely.
Out of 3 attempts from Lang. And back into the sole setback. Shotgun formation. There's the handoff over to the left-hand side, on the move and into the end zone. Owen for the touchdown.
Dylan Owen right up the middle. That hole was huge. You could drive a Mack truck through that hole. Good pull, nice setup, and Dylan Owen just speeds it right up the middle of the field.
Nolan, you said speed and efficiency for 4 plays in the first drive. Let's call 3 plays.
That's
and a touchdown.
Definitely more efficient. And we're seeing Glacier Peak come out and do what they said they wanted to do tonight, and that's get the ball moving on the ground. We're seeing a lot more confidence from that O-line, and they definitely made the adjustments they needed this week to come out and put it in on the ground.
15 yards. On the run by Owen.
Extra point is good.
PAT will make it 14-0. And Glacier Peak large and in charge, and really only about 4 minutes gone by. Very, very efficient football. We'll take a break. STSPN, Glacier Peak 14, Jackson 0. Welcome back to Snohomish, Washington. A bit of an expected outcome. I just didn't expect it this quickly.
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit ruthless. A definitely expected outcome. Jackson is 3 and 80. They've got 3 points for and 80 against over these last 2 games.
Not the differential that first-year coach Mason Siddick would really prefer.
I think we heard a lot from the coaches pregame about wanting to improve their defense also, and we'll see if they can make these adjustments. Glacier Peak really changing it up on them, though. We've seen some stretch plays, we've seen some dives, and a lot of good wheel routes.
Mason Siddick coming in and changing everything, head coach for Jackson. How tough is it if you're a junior, a senior, and you're coming in for what may be your last season of high school football and have the book just turned over and start from scratch?
Definitely a hard adjustment to be making.
Lone setback for Jackson. And a bounce out of the pile on a little bit of daylight across the left-hand side. Goes number 26, that's Brendan Sendico. Only 5'7", but he's shifty.
He's definitely a quick back there. We got a flag down. I believe that's going to be on Glacier Peak. I think we might have a personal.
Could be a late hit. 2 white jerseys into the pile.
Yeah. And like we said, this is a rivalry game, so it could get a little chippy down there.
Of course.
I do know. It gets. There's definitely some smack talking. I don't think anybody is not aware of that.
You pick up on that penalty there, guys. I think unsportsmanlike conduct, maybe?
Yeah, so Glacier Peak will be moved back 15 yards.
So the first down for Jackson. This one coming off a defensive penalty on the Grizzlies. First down and 10 with the ball marked on the 41-yard line on the near hash mark. And let's see if they can get it that sustained drive that Mason Siddick is looking for. There's the handoff once again, left-hand side. There's a hole, a spin around one defender, a missed tackle by the first, looked like DB on that left-hand side.
Yeah, that was number 50. Hunter Morrison again, the outside linebacker on that side. Brendan Sandico does a good job cutting that upfield because Hunter did not squeeze down on the line there. That's a good read.
And it takes a little bit of time for Glacier Peak to see Sandico, only 5'7". And if you look at the linemen on that Jackson Timberwolves, they've got 3 players near 300 pounds.
Yeah, those are some big guys up front.
6'3", 6'0", 6'2". That's a whole lot to run behind. A misdirection now across the 50-yard line, maybe close to the first down. We'll see if he gets it. And Sandico carrying this Jackson offense on this drive through 3 plays now.
That's good for a first down. Sandico really showing good vision once again, kind of hiding behind his lineman as he shuffles around back there. Very patient running we're seeing, and it's paying off pretty well.
Started on that right-hand side. That gap closed quickly and was able to bounce it off to the left. And one more time, Jackson will go to that trips on the far side. Lone setback is Sandico. There's the pass over the middle and swung it just in front of Cannon Quill.
I think that was Glacier Peak number 45, Jack Johnson, coming up the middle. That was a bread and butter blitz from Glacier Peak, that little cross with the nose guard. And we probably will see that a lot. Made the quarterback get rid of it really quick there.
Clark got big eyes and had to get rid of it quickly. The pass was there. The player was open. The wide receiver had plenty of daylight around him. He catches that in stride. It's probably another Jackson first down. That one just missing. Second down and 10. Ball on the 40-yard line, just inside Glacier Peak territory. Here's the option. He'll keep it himself. There's the slip and the 4-yard, maybe 5-yard gain. Clark keeping it himself.
Nathan Clark, I don't know if he's meaning to here, but he gives a nice little pump fake on that give and then goes right up the middle for some good yards. That's a nice keep on that option play.
Third down and 5. They'll spot him 5 yards still on this near hash. It is third down. A big penalty, a holding penalty against Jackson stalled the last drive on third down. Let's see what this third down will bring. 0-1 so far on third down conversions.
They're definitely moving the ball a lot better this drive. I think we're going to see the adjustments here.
Same set with the trips on the far side. Clark will call for the play and under center. There it is over the top. Caught the same exact play into the same space. And hauling it down is Kenan Quill. Targeted twice now on this drive, hauls in a big first down.
Like you called it there, they go right back to it. Just because they got the pressure last time doesn't mean you can't stretch it a little this time. Getting Quill with a nice catch right up the middle. Definitely beat those linebackers over the top. Caught them sitting in their zone.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball will be spotted on the Glacier Peak 31. Handoff will go student body right, and nobody there. But a whole lot of white jerseys.
Big number 53 on the tackle there. Jacob Erickson, he does a great job not letting the cage of one get past his face. And what I mean by that is the first guy out of the backfield is the cage of one. That happened to be Brendan Sandico on that play, trying to make the run. He sheds that block and makes a tackle for a loss.
A loss of 5 yards, 2nd down and 15, and things get a little different in the look for the Jackson offense now. They've only really been 10 yards and deep. I guess they had the one penalty.
GP timeout here.
And that will be the first timeout by Glacier Peak. I don't know if they had too many men on the field, Ron. They're hauling somebody off quickly.
This is a big 2nd down for Jackson here.
So we will take a break on this timeout. 5:35 to go, first quarter. Jackson trailing, but with the ball. 0, Glacier Peak 14. We'll be back.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Another score in from the Snohomish game tonight. After a Shorewood fumble, a 28-0 after the pickup on the fumble recovery, scampering into the end zone. So at Shoreline Stadium, Shorewood struggling a bit against the Panthers. 2nd down and 15, back at our game. And there's the swing out pass, another one of those bubble screens. Will take it 6, maybe 7 yards back in past the original line of scrimmage down to the 28-yard line. And brings up another big 3rd down.
That's something you see a lot nowadays in high school football, especially running these, West Coast spreads, is these bubble screens. If you can keep the blocks, they're always going to be good for 5 or 6 yards because the safety's got a long way to travel to come make that tackle.
And the athleticism, not quite what it is at the college level. So if you can get past or get a good block on that DB and lock him up, you can turn in 5-6 yards at a pop.
Oh, yeah.
Sole setback, Sendico. That'll be the play action. No, they'll swing it out to him on the right-hand side. I don't think he caught the football. And Clark looks like he was dancing a bit, had happy feet, and just wanted to get rid of it on 3rd down.
Yeah, he steps up in the pocket. I don't think Glacier Peak gave him a man downfield, so he goes to the safe wheel route, Brendan Sendico, but Sendico not able to come up with the ball. So we go to 4th down and 5. Now, you brought up how good this kicker is. Daniel Yoon.
Daniel Yoon, ranked number 95th in the nation. We've got a nation kicker, a blue chipper right here.
And he's a lefty.
And he is, let's see, we're looking at about a 50-yarder. Here's the pop. It is up. It is true, and it is through. Count it. That's why he's a recruit.
That's pretty good there. 50 yards out.
Holy smoke.
That could have been good from 60.
Daniel Yoon, 5'9", $156. Really has only played football for about a year and change.
Must have been playing soccer.
Soccer and a whole lot of practice, and the Timberwolves will put 3 spot up on that board, 14-3. We'll take a break, STSPN. Back here at Memorial Stadium, and boy, I tell you what, we a gush up here, Nolan and I, after watching that that sail through it. I think it had a little more distance than the 45 yards that it was measured at.
Yeah, quick math, came up with 45 yards, and I would say probably good from 55 to 60.
And here you go. Let's watch it again on the replay here on STSPN. Oh, yeah.
Oof.
Almost to the track.
That was...
Well, not quite, but You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, take a look at this kickoff. It might go into the end zone from there, so it'll give you a big idea what he can do.
Let's see if he can put it through the uprights. And that one he kind of got, I think he's well-versed in where he needs to put it.
Yeah.
Because that one was a little side-legged, if that's a thing.
It seems like he wanted to challenge Glacier Peak to run that one out a little bit. Maybe we got a nice, accurate kicker, too.
It did cross the end line, and it will be back to the 20-yard line for Glacier Peak to start their third drive of the season, or excuse me, of this game. Already putting up a touchdown in each of their first two possessions. The first on a beautiful pass to Mike Torgensen for 20 yards and the score. And then the Owen run for 15 yards made it 14-0. And here we go again. This time a whole lot of running room.
Dylan Owen right off the tackle. And we're seeing this Glacier Peak offensive line come out and really make their names known. We can see here they come out, get to the second level, create a nice lane for Dylan Owen. And Dylan Owen lowering his shoulder and letting defenders know, hey, you don't want to come tackle me.
Got it running downhill with a full head of steam was on. Then there's the run now on the left-hand side on a little misdirection. Started it off to the right, took the handoff, went left.
We're really seeing some strong running from Glacier Peak tonight, making a man miss at the line of scrimmage. And I think there's 4 or 5 on his back when he finally goes down.
And we talked to head coach Keck before the ball game, and the emphasis, of course, was running. The running game has not quite been what the expectation is going to be the rest of the season. And there's a lot of reason for that. Back to pass now.
Running.
Shot over the middle is incomplete.
Running is a huge part of any offense. Football has evolved so much over the years. One thing remains the same. If you can't run the ball, you cannot pass the ball. The run game will always open up the passing game to go deep down the sidelines, and that's when you score some nice points.
And it never hurts just to have Owen smack mouth it all the way in for 50 yards like he did the last time. There's the run off to the left-hand side. We've got a penalty. We'll blow that dead.
Ryan Black.
So we'll see
there.
if we have a neutral zone infraction.
Is that what you saw? Ryan Black there was going around the left edge. It looked like he had a nice lane. And we're coming back.
And I think we had a receiver out of position on the near side. That would be my observation, but I didn't hear the call. Ron, what did you have down there on that penalty?
He was lined up a little bit offsides, and he called it immediately.
Okay. So we're without the binoculars, I think we're doing pretty well up here, Nolan. There's the pass on the bubble screen. Caught through the linebacking core and on the move down 20-yard line and finally dropped by number 6, Roman Vicente. But a beautiful, beautiful run by another catch on Torgensen.
Torgensen there getting behind his blockers. I love seeing these linemen come out and block out front on these nice plays. Beautiful run by Torgensen, running strong.
So already down to the 20. It started on their own 20. There's the handoff and a fumble. And the pile just behind the line of scrimmage on the miss. Kind of almost swung at that handoff.
I think Ryan Black saw something he liked, wanted to get upfield quick. He's quick enough to jump back on that ball, though, after the missed handoff. Here's that play again. Look at these linemen all getting out in front and then making man miss, bouncing off. Finally gets caught from behind and dragged down. That's a nice run.
You can see the strength.
Yeah. This Glacier Peak offense definitely kind of having its way with the Jackson defense right now. I don't think we've seen a play style they've been able to stop yet.
And really, it's been one first down after another on this drive. I don't think we've seen any second downs since we started on the 20-yard line. Glacier Peak running at full efficiency. And Jackson has no answer on defense right now.
Second down now just because of the fumble. So, you got
Very
us on
nice. Keith Neely along with Nolan up here. And Todd, thanks. We didn't need that. Nobody needs that. Nolan Dale with me. And Ron, you got spared the Snoop cam up here in the booth.
Yeah.
Glad I put on my Sunday best for the big broadcast today. Soul setback. There's the snap and the throw over the middle. Caught in stride. A little bit low, but gathered up nicely.
There's that RPO from Glacier Peak's offense. That run really setting up those linebackers to come bite on the run. The second Tyson Lang fakes the handoff here, we see these linebackers immediately come downfield trying to hit their cones. He's able to.
That was Dennis Stepanchenko.
Stepanchenko
with a nice catch.
With a post route over the middle. Beautiful catch.
Right there playing defense is Garrett Holden, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Glacier Peak.
Nice flag on that play, guys.
We'll see if that one comes back. I think that might be on number 72 from the Jackson Timberwolves. Nice run by Ryan Black there regardless. Nice hole set up by the offensive line.
And it is a holding call against Glacier Peak, and that will bring this one back.
Definitely getting a little chippy down there in the trenches already. I don't think they're too happy with each other.
2:27 to go first quarter, and we've got a whole lot of chippy left to play.
A lot. There's holding on every single play. Every single play. It's just about if you get caught.
That's exactly right. And that will erase the 7 or the 6 from the scoreboard. They'll bring it back to 14. Lang back to throw, swings it out to Black on the bubble, but Jackson doing a nice job of standing up.
Jack Barclay, number 45 from the Jackson Timberwolves, makes a great read there. Glacier Peak went back to that wheel route with one blocker out front, and Barclay was not fooled at all. Unfortunately, did not bring him to the ground, but did slow it down enough for some more Timberwolves to make it.
Black big enough in order to bounce off the first contact. But once he was stood up, there was no momentum, and it was all going to be a stop. We're second down and goal to go from the 22 now. Lang back to pass, will roll out to his left-hand side. He'll take it himself, past the line of scrimmage, jukes a bit, and then another penalty flag will come down.
Yeah, that's going to be a block in the back. Tyson Lang with a nice keep there. Rolled out, bootleg to the left.
Nothing more frustrating than being goal to go inside the 10-yard line and then shooting not only your left foot but putting one right into your right.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some mistakes, some mental mistakes from these Glacier Peak linemen. When you get down in that red zone, you want to score, and that's the mentality. So you start making some risky plays. You don't need to go out and make a block in the back when your quarterback's running off to the sideline.
They will mark it off one more time here, and I believe we'll get another 10 yards. Now, they'll only mark it a 5 for the block in the back, so be second down and 27.
Second and goal.
Which is goal to go,
Goal
from the
to
27.
It's from the 27. Not an impossible feat for Glacier Peak tonight.
And not even improbable.
No.
Because we've seen some big plays in this drive.
We could see Owen break one right now.
And there it is, the man you call, Owen over the middle. He breaks a big one, mows over the defensive back.
Dylan Owen showing some strong running there. Makes a great cut through the offensive line, lowers his shoulder midfield, and just rolls over a defender. Gotta love when you see some smash mouth football, especially from a West Coast spread offense.
Owen, 6 foot, $175, matching up against the safety Latrell Joseph, 6'1", $150. And here's the collision. And you got to give Joseph credit for hanging on and dropping the ball carrier. Over the middle it goes, in and out of the outstretched hands, right off the fingertips. The intended receiver, Evan Renshire.
Ronnie, how do you feel about that drop there?
Well, that was a pretty hot pass, but he should have caught it.
Yeah. Ronnie says anything that touches your hands, you got to catch.
Pardon me, Preston Weaver.
That was a nice route by Preston Weaver, though. Tyson Lang throwing a rocket into his hands. And Weaver obviously upset with himself
A little
there.
too much pepper on that one.
So 4th and goal, and we see the offense stay on.
And why not? Up by 14, looking to make a statement here. Back to passes, Lang over the middle, has a man open, caught for the touchdown. And just like that,
Braden Corwin, the Renaissance man, in for another one. Knocked his touchdowns up to 4 for the season. Tyson Lang being very athletic, catching that low snap, and then a nice slant route, maybe a little bit of a post to Braden Corwin.
Corwin doing an outstanding job of focus when the footsteps were all about him in that end zone.
But wait, there's more. Now he kicks the extra point.
So looking to add on to his already only 2 points for the game off his foot.
Yeah.
We'll look to add enough to make it 10 points.
So Glacier Peak now through the air.
Carwin likes to make 7 points out of this score.
He scores them all.
And a penalty flag.
That's going to be a neutral zone infraction off the edge there. Number 57. We got a score update.
And another fumble recovery by Owen Kastner at the Shorewood 33. Caden Keithley had a 16-yard TD run to put the exclamation mark on the turnover. 35-0 with 49 seconds to go in the first. And Snohomish way out in front over Shorewood. And the PAT is good in our game. That will make it 21-3. Still first quarter action, haven't even cracked into the second 12. We'll take a timeout. 21-3, GP in charge.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back. The third touchdown in as many drives for Glacier Peak. 21-3 first quarter. Jackson, although struggling on defense, has not looked too shabby in their 2 possessions. One big mistake on each of the drives has cost them the momentum, and we'll see what they can do in their third possession.
Yep, like I said last week, and probably will say it for the rest of my life, those mistakes will always cost you the drive. Flags will stall your drive out. Last week, Nathan Clark, the quarterback for Jackson, going 17 for 29 for 137 yards. We're seeing a lot of ground game out of Jackson. Brendan Sandico last week, 18 rushes, 143 yards, but 0 touchdowns. So hopefully Jackson can drive down. Like we said, the coach wants to see an efficient drive today. Drive down, score, and get their first touchdown of the season.
And you crack that nut. Things can change in a hurry. You know you can do it. You've already seen that against a pretty good defense, they're able to move the ball well. They've had some help with some penalties, but on their own accord, very good at moving the football, especially under the legs of Sandico. Had a couple of good strikes. You say Wren sets up the pass, and we've seen that. So definitely have the ability. It's not about the ability so much as the execution.
Absolutely.
And now they swing on a little swing pass underneath, a little pitch on the shuffle.
That's a nice triple option play there by Jackson. A little tricky also. It kind of hides it. They do that motion over to the left, show the trips left, and then Nathan Clark there just gives it, and hopefully for that inside run. Who grabbed the ball there?
Xavier Bonificio with the catch, the tight end coming in.
You got the Italian.
On the option. And now trips on the right-hand side. Lone setback. And the pass over the middle is caught, but not very deep. Shallow pass, maybe 2 yards in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Kenan Quill.
That's a hard pass for Nathan Clark to complete there. Low snap. Got to bring it all the way up then and still try to get it off quick to number 7 there. That's tough. Number 7, unfortunately, makes the drop, but it looked like
Quill with trying to get the worm burner off his shoe tops, and that's when you're going over the middle. You're expecting collisions. You know they're coming,
and you can't watch.
And you cannot watch. You cannot look. You cannot put your eyes into that defensive backfield until you have the pigskin safely put away. 3rd down and 5. Ball on the 25-yard line, and back to pass is Clark now. He'll swing it on the right-hand side, gets the first down. Outstanding tackle in open field. But upending is Bonifacio one more time. 5'10", 193 pounds, the tight end, with a little wide pop straight off that right-hand side.
Bonifacio with a nice drag route across the middle of the field. Captain Bonifacio, by the way, a captain for this offense coming out. Looks like a tight end set.
If you got that on replay, he was wide open. There was nobody covering him, guys.
Yeah.
And that makes that open field tackle all that more important because he beats the one man, and he is good as gone. There's the hit and the tackle, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter here at Veterans Memorial. 21-3, Grizzlies over T-Wolves. We'll bring you the next 12 right around the corner. Stay with us.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Welcome back to Snohomish. Last week's Glacier Peak opponent, Snohomish Panthers, playing down at Shoreline Stadium. 4 minutes into the second quarter, already a running clock. Snohomish
48.
Mustering 3 points against Glacier Peak last week, already 48 this week. That's a big turnaround. And incomplete pass on the swing out to the right.
Yeah, we see this nice talent from Glacier Peak at linebacker. We got number 9.
That's
Ryan Kinney. And number 45, my man, Jack Johnson. Always coming downfield. I love the pressure that Johnson puts on the flats and on the quarterback.
And you see the athleticism on that wheel route out on the right-hand side. Those linebackers,
quick to the ball.
If he's not picking that ball off the turf for a catch, it's going to be, they just pin their ears back, tie their hats down, and head out.
We got another stop of the game here. Not sure what's going on. Ronnie, you have any idea what's going on down there? Ronnie not with us right now. Well, like we said before, Jackson not looking that bad.
The clock wasn't running.
Oh.
They got to run some time off the clock. They didn't have it started on the quarter.
There we go.
So right now, still 12 minutes showing on the clock. They'll reset it to 11:55, so that incomplete pass will burn off 5 seconds. Brings up second down and 10 with the ball on the Jackson 34. Nathan Clark, the quarterback, the junior quarterback for the Timberwolves, will be alongside on his left-hand side is Brendan Sendico. And they'll try the option one more time. There's the pitch. Sendico will turn it up past the original line of scrimmage, maybe 3 yards into the pile. And those linebacking core one more time.
Yeah.
They can run right just as well as they can run left.
Yeah, that's number 11 from all the way on the other side of the field, outside linebacker. Jake Claps.
That's Claps. He's a $170, 6 foot. And that linebacking core, it's a lot of 6 foot, about 185 pounds. It's pure physique for a linebacker. That's about as pure as you can get for high school football.
Yeah, Glacier Peak does like their linebackers quick, going downfield, hitting their cones, and making tackles. The whole point of the D-line in this kind of defense is to open up the lanes.
Only a sophomore is Claps. And there's the Clark back to pass out of the pocket. Has a man deep, but well guarded. Did he call it in? He caught it.
That's number 8.
What a catch!
That's number 8, Garrett Holden, captain for the Jackson Timberwolves. Nathan Clark with a nice outside shoulder throw. We'll see the snap here.
Watch it again. Here is the Clark. He got plenty of pressure around him, steps up, and just swings it out is about as far as he can. And stride for stride. Not bad defense, but it looked like that hike.
I'll get the Jackson Timberwolves fired up on that kind of a play.
Yeah, it will. That's
Hawk
a big
just took
momentum.
his eyes off the ball, and that is absolutely a swing of momentum. There's the Sandico right-hand A-gapper for 2 yards.
These stretch plays are really working for Jackson. They can just keep handing it off and getting 4 yards like that every single time. I'm going to say it over and over again. Stretch left, stretch right, 4 yards, and you've got a nice drive put together. Coming off a big bomb play like that, it's always nice to go back to the ground and hopefully break one open, go all the way to the end zone.
Well, and when you have all those defensive backs and linebackers running 30 yards on a deep bomb to come back in huffing and puffing, if you can get back into that core on the next run, you got something doing. Another 4 yards, and just like that, 3rd down and 1 to go.
Another handoff to Sandico, right up the middle again, and I think we're seeing some tired looks from the Glacier Peak defense. Like you said, chasing that ball all the way downfield.
That right-hand side of the line, Daniel Lynn, 5'10", 220 pounds. Nathan Child, 6'3", 305.
Wow.
So you have some running to do.
Yeah, you can
when you got those big bodies in front of you.
You can definitely get behind those big bodies and just let them block you down the field.
9:30 to go. Jackson on the move. 3rd down and 1 with the ball on the 22. Not quite in the red zone of Glacier Peak, and Jackson would love to be there. There's the play action and the pass a bit in front of the intended receiver. That's Garrett Holden.
Yeah, Nathan Clark just throws it a little bit too forward there. Route almost gets jumped by the Glacier Peak defense. I believe now we're going to see the field goal unit come onto the field.
And how impressed.
What are you going to bet on this field goal going through, guys?
After a 45-yarder, Daniel Yoon, this looks like a putt next to the 3-iron.
I'd say Daniel Yoon is pretty
Should
good
be.
for this.
He's going to take out his 56 wedge right here and just pop this sucker over the uprights.
We might have to make it harder for him.
And here's the snap, the hold, that is blocked. And it will stay right there. So I'm not sure if the holder just didn't get it down or if Glacier Peak just put enough pressure on it to get through that line and get a handoff.
That was a hard one to track. He actually had a lot of Glacier Peak bodies come through. What did you see there on the field, Ronnie?
If you got that on the replay, I just saw nothing but white shirts coming through the line. I don't think they blocked them at all. So
we do not have the replay.
That was a lot of white shirts that came through for sure.
Well, we will take a break. 21-3, Grizzlies over the top of Timberwolves. Back in action. Here's the play over the middle, in and out of the hands.
Number 10.
Ryder Wilkinson. And that looked like a catchable ball. And
that was
Ryder saying, yeah, that was me, coach.
Yeah. Ryder coming back to the sideline, talking a little bit there. Definitely a nice route, though. Got to look at the positives on that play. And Tyson Lang throwing some nice balls today.
Plenty of room out there on that right-hand flat. There's the swing-out pass on the bubble screen, and one more time. Too much juice will go past Preston Weaver. Weaver's had a couple of hot shots to handle.
Yeah, I don't know if Weaver said something mean to Lang before the
Wow.
game, but I think Lang's out there just to hurt those hands a little bit. Preston Weaver with another drop pass on that bubble route, though.
3rd down and 10.
throw it again until you do it right.
Ronnie not happy with Weaver right now.
Another play coming in. It looks like an audible from the sideline. Trips on the near side, one on the far for wide receivers. Back to pass. And this one is going over the top and overthrown everybody. And they say incomplete pass, a bit of
I got to say, I think
indiscriminate contact there. I don't think they tied up, but I don't think it meant anything on the play.
Yeah, I think the timing just got a little interrupted there between Lang and his receiver. Was that number 85 once again? Yeah, but a bump during his route, knocks off the timing, can't get back to the middle of the field to make that catch.
And for the first time in this game, a Glacier Peak drive stalls. And Jackson will look to get some pretty good field position.
We've seen Jackson march into the red zone now twice and stall out their drive.
Definitely can move the ball without a question. And that's got to be great on the film for Mason Siddick, but you still have yet to get that first touchdown of the season. And here we are in game number 3, and we've got a timeout on the field. 21-3. Glacier Peak on top of Jackson. 9:02 remaining in the second quarter. We'll be back in a moment. STSPN.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Memorial Stadium, Glacier Peak 4 and out. Will have to punt it back to the Jackson Timberwolves, who look to get good field position, and a bit of confusion on the Grizzlies side, it looked like, going in to this play. They had to call timeout and talk about it. Here is the punt. And it's a nice end over end high archer gathered in at the 35-yard line. Get past one man, picked up a block. Now we'll shift directions past the 45, and that will be where Jackson will start 1st and 10, just on their side of the football field.
It's nobody other than number 7 Keenan Quill for the Jackson Timberwolves. Definitely having a nice game tonight.
He's doing it all. Punt return, kickoff return. Has got a couple of nice passes in amongst the trees over the middle.
Yeah.
And we'll see what Nathan Clark and his offense can do here with some decent field possession. Certainly has not been for a lack of running and playmaking from Brandon Sendico. And now a pass will swing out to the left hand, and sidestepping one would-be tackler on the move. A penalty flag will fly behind the ball carrier.
We saw straight athleticism there from Keenan Quill once again. A nice swing move on the defender off that flat, and then just quick up the field to pick up those yards.
Quill is going to be gassed here. You can tell he's got his hands on hips. He just took a pretty decent pop before that drive started. And we've got a holding call.
It's all for naught.
Out in front of that play. Matter of fact, I'm not sure it was in front of the play. I think that holding call was behind the play, and that's not where you want them.
No. Going back to penalties and stalling drives, we've seen that 3 times now. So hopefully this penalty does not hurt the Jackson Timberwolves mentally, and they can continue to march on this drive.
They got a big play to get the first down on the last one on a nice flag route. Went for about 35 yards.
Yeah, that was a huge play. It's a big momentum shifter for Jackson, and we just need to see more of those. Stretch the field a little bit, throw some risk out.
Jackson was certainly like that. Lake Stevens 35, Monroe 21 in a doozy. A heck of a lot of scoring only through the majority of 2 quarters now, right before halftime, and a stop for a loss.
Wow.
That ball caught by Garrett Holden, but he had nowhere to run.
Sniffed out immediately by Preston Weaver. This Glacier Peak defense can see a bubble route coming from a mile away. They see it all week in practice. Preston Weaver with a nice takedown tackle there. May have dropped a couple passes tonight, but definitely playing some shutdown D.
The bulldog tackle. And Garrett Holden barely got the ball in his hands. It almost would have been more worthwhile had he dropped it.
Preston Weaver only 5'8", 158.
Packs a wallop.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of moving. That momentum was right there, and here is the handoff left-hand side. And still on his feet, moving toward the original line of scrimmage is Sendico. And he just keeps those little legs just pumping hard.
He does not quit, not once, not an ounce of quit in this kid. And he shrugs defenders off his shoulder as they run by. He really reminds me of Philip Lindsay. just a hard scat back style. Get to the edge, run me up the middle. I don't care. I'm going to put my head down and take the hit.
3rd down and 12 yards to go after that holding penalty. Put Jackson in a bit of a bind. Still looking to get into Glacier Peak territory on this drive as the clock ticks beyond 7:15. Back to pass. It is caught, and right there is the defensive back to make the stop. It'll bring up 4th down after a 3-yard gain.
Nice little comeback route. Good for a completion, not good for a first down. I feel like Jackson really needed that first down there. We're kind of getting close to the half here. Get a touchdown on the board before you go to the locker room. Come out with a different mentality.
And you think that Nathan Clark has a little bit more time than the 3-step drop that he's getting now.
Yeah, they're definitely going for quick plays here.
And they're going to stay on the field with the regular squad. 4th and 9. 4 yards short of midfield. They've got the punt team on and almost blocked. Had to get rid of it quickly, and the Peter ball will go off maybe 25 yards out of bounds at the 33. Glacier Peak will get it back with decent field position with 6:24 to go.
I'm not sure what that play was all about, guys. It was like a solo man back there to punt, and he started to run, and then I think maybe just trying to use up some time or something before he kicked
that
it.
rugby-style punt is kind of the rage now. I'm not sure I completely understand
You're
it.
definitely seeing the Seahawk influence
You
on the
do.
Pacific Northwest.
That's right.
Well, he didn't have much time to do it either.
No.
Laying back in the pocket, will hand it off, and another bulldog through the linebacking core goes Glacier Peak.
Another great zone stretch play by Glacier Peak. Dylan Owen quick
Can't
to find
tell
his
if that
lane.
was Black.
That was Dylan Owen.
That was Owen. Thank you. And once again, Owen will take it into the right-hand side of the pile, almost the identical play that we saw the play before.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing clock management start coming out for Glacier Peak. Going into the half, you're up 21-3. Keep handing it off. You're good for at least 5 yards every single play.
And there's another 2, 3. I got the pole right in front. Yeah, it was 5 yards. I think you keep that pace up, you may score with 5:50 at that. You keep running the ball on that right-hand side. Here we go one more time. This time it's around the right-hand end. Plenty of daylight. This time the ball carrier is Isaac Ellison.
A new back that we haven't seen much of, Isaac Ellison.
5'9", 140 pounds, a senior, getting his chops in.
He's good around the edge, too. It might have a lot less to do with the running back and a lot more to do with the blocking up front. We're seeing a lot of good blocking from the wide receivers and the line tonight.
That pickup of almost 13 yards. First down and 10 with the ball on the 35-yard line. So Ellison getting involved, and he's still in the backfield. This time they'll swing it out to the left. Incomplete.
Weaver.
Preston Weaver having a hard night.
Story of the night right there. Tyson Lang to Preston Weaver, another drop. I'm not going to put that one on Preston Weaver too much, though. He did have to really get up there.
He had to climb the ladder,
Yeah.
pull the parachute.
Tyson Lang.
Preston needs a little more glue on his hands, I think.
Go take care for it, Ronnie.
There you see Forks up 16-14 on Port Townsend. Ferndale 27-0 at the half over Marysville-Pilchuck. Marysville Getchell.
There we go. A stop from the Jackson Timberwolves there, giving up maybe a yard on the play to
Brings
Dylan
up
Owen.
3rd down and 10 at the 5-minute mark.
Glacier Peak really being able to control the pace of this game, kind of coming out and doing whatever they
Pretty
want.
much have done that since the opening drive that they've had. And a fumble, ball is down. Jackson looks like they've come up with it.
And that's the play.
And that might turn the table a bit before the half.
That's the play Jackson really needs going into the half. The end of the half here, you convert this turnover, and you go in and you score a touchdown, and you come out and you feel like you can win this in the second half.
You saw number 6, Roman Vicente, the senior, jumping up and down. He was jacked. He's the one that stripped the football out of quarterback Tyson Lang's hands.
Good job by the downfield defense for Jackson, making Lang hold on to that for so long, always looking for a target.
And Edmund Bonificio with the junior with the pickup, and Jackson will take over First and 10 on the 44-yard line, about where they had it to start the last drive.
Hey, it's a redo. You get your free set
Got
of downs
a free
now.
one, cost you 3 minutes about, is what Glacier Peak was able to get off the clock in their possession. There's the snap, back to pass is Clark, and he'll have to gobble it up. Still on the move, trying to get rid of it under some pressure.
Nathan Clark doing a really good job moving around in the
I
pocket
thought he was
there.
down
Yeah.
about 2 seconds before he popped out that right-hand side.
Eyes in the back of his head, showing some really good athleticism there. Stepping up, stepping out, and then going for the wheel route to the running back. Well defended, though.
Second down and 10.
What I did think was a little weird was he saw a flop from Nathan Clark at the end of the play there. Kind of maybe getting a little frustrated down on the field.
Yep, asking for the flag. Little Hollywood.
Little Hollywood.
Second down and 10. Back to the 44-yard line it goes. Trips on the near side. The sole back is Sandico. And here's the Clark option. And it will go off to the left or right to Sandico. Breaks one tackle, breaks two tackles. Still on the move. Gets a big block up front. Finally knocked out of bounds by Tristan Hawk.
Number 30.
But Sandico doing the work.
Ryan Black there does a great job setting that edge. Sandico does an even better job of just outplaying the whole entire Glacier Peak defense. Great play by Sandico, cutting it up when they could. Triple option being ran again by Jackson Timberwolves.
Plenty of time on this half left. 4:31 to go. Jackson moving the ball very well. Once again into Glacier Peak territory just inside the 40-yard line.
Head coach Mason Siddick said these kids don't quit, and it sure looks like they're not quitting right now.
That was one of the things that impressed him. I asked head coach of Jackson, Mason Siddick, about the personality of this team, and that's the first thing he talked about. It was the fact that these kids were coming in as that run snuffed out.
Oh,
And that might be a personal foul. You got to be careful with tackles like that.
Ryan Black being brought to the sideline by the coaching staff definitely took a late hit. He gave a late hit to a Jackson player. Couldn't tell who it was. Jackson's going to get a free 15 here.
And another first down. But back to Mason Siddick, the head coach, the first-year head coach. Played his high school ball at Lake Washington for the Kangaroos, and then on to Carroll College in Montana. But we asked him, Ron and I, early about the personality of his team, and he said they are not quitters. They have got to absorb a brand new offense, a brand new defense. The special team schemes have changed.
Yeah.
The workout schemes have changed.
Yeah.
And they just don't quit, even being down 40-0 in both their first two games.
0-2 coming into this game, and we haven't seen an ounce of quit
Not
from
one.
anybody on that team. And that is all you can ask at some point from your team. The referee's taking a little bit of time here to move the ball forward.
And they're giving a warning to the sideline, as one of the signals that they gave was that they are warning the bench. And I don't know if the coaching staff has been out on the field too far, or if kids were getting on too far on the field. What are you hearing down there, Ron?
Ryan Black being escorted to the tunnel, going back into the locker room. I think we might have seen an ejection just now. Ejection.
As we await the unearthing of what this call will be.
Ron is standing right there.
And Shane Keck not happy, obviously. What are you hearing, Ron?
What's going on down there, Ronnie?
A little bit of discussion about that unsportsmanlike conduct. I think there was some punches thrown, or they thought there were some punches thrown. Coach Kick thinks that he should have got ejected for it, and they're talking about it right now. But also, one of the GP players went out on the field. They could have ejected him just as well for going out on the field.
Hey, Ronnie, we saw Ryan Black go to the locker room.
Well,
And here's the play again.
He probably was the one that got ejected then. They were trying to get one of the Jackson players ejected, but they said he didn't throw a punch, but I think Black did.
And where all the action happened was just off the right-hand side of
There
your
you go.
screen, and you can see
Number
number 34, very heated
And that's number 7.
And it looked like number 7, Kenan Quill. So, yeah, there was definitely a little extracurricular going on the right-hand side of this play, right out of the screen. But the referee right there came flying in to talk to the white hat. That's the back judge, Tim Canchi.
Glacier Peak taking a timeout right now to probably calm the team down and maintain some discipline.
And you can see Shane Keck is talking to his crew right here in your foreground, and he is not having it.
Hey, Ronnie, what are you getting down there? What's Shane Keck saying?
I can't get what he's saying, but he's giving them a pep talk about using their head, about trying to not get angry about this game and just kind of just play a straight game. No more emotional stuff.
Yeah, that's a big thing for Glacier Peak here tonight. Like we said, rivalry game. This one's a little bit bigger and a little bit more emotional for Glacier Peak than Snohomish is, because Jackson traditionally has been the bigger opponent.
And Black hasn't been ejected officially.
Okay, well, now you're out 2 players on your starting offense and a couple of players that go both ways. So that will definitely sting a little bit. You're up 21-3. You don't want to let Jackson score before the half here and sow any kind of hope into their offense. There's the run around the right-hand side. Gets 1 block. A penalty flag will fly behind the play.
And that's going to come back as a holding.
Was it holding?
It was going to be a holding.
2nd and 11, and yet another good run by Sandico.
Yeah, Sandico really the workhorse of this Jackson offense, and I think he embodies the no quit.
He's your poster child for no quit. You
bet.
bet.
He's the little man that never stopped.
And after that run, they will back it one more time. It seems to be one stinging penalty in every Jackson drive, or this could easily be 21-14 right now, or 21-17.
Yeah, and this is a bad mistake for Jackson to be making right here, especially when you get that free 15 yards off of a personal. You get a nice set of yards, 3 or 4 off that run, and then you back it all up for holding.
So from 2nd down and 11, they will back it all the way back to 2nd down and 23 now after the penalty, which was about 4 yards deep into that run. So the ball back into Jackson territory on the 48-yard line with 4:13 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Jackson looking to get a score before the half to really help out their cause. There's Sandico, left-hand side, up to midfield and into a pile.
Wow, Sandico is quick, though, out of that backfield. Very quick.
Michael Fant, the sophomore, in on the tackle.
Michael Fant, they're very quick to eat that play up.
Getting that start on that right end of this Glacier Peak defense. And now trips on the near side for Jackson. Sandico in the backfield along with Clark. Clark back to pass, steps up into the pocket. He'll keep it himself, past midfield, tucks it in, down to the 40. Looks for a hesitation move, but all it gathers is 6 or 7 white helmeted Glacier Peak Grizzlies, and now more emotion being shown.
Very excited on the Jackson sideline over there. The coach really looking for something. I'm not well aware of what happened. Good play by Nathan Clark, though, seeing everybody go downfield, kind of protecting that first down, and he tucks it and runs. So yeah, we're seeing
definitely a rivalry game.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some excitement from these teams tonight.
And right now, I think both teams could stand a little bit of timeout in the locker room.
Yes.
Not quite the nose in the corner type of timeout, but the football has definitely, the pace, we've dropped the anchor on the pace of this ball game thanks to a lot of emotion at this point in time.
Yeah, we're definitely slowing down a lot due to penalties. We're seeing some more confusion from Glacier Peak.
Trying to get bodies in and out. Of course, you're up this much. You're running a lot of different personnel in and out to get them some play time. And the clock is continuing to tick down at the 2:40 mark as Daniel Yoon back to punt this one away for Jackson. Gets that one off, but it's short, and it will dribble down to the 20-yard line of Glacier Peak, and that's where the Grizzlies will take over 1st and 10. We'll take a quick timeout with 2:29 to go. Glacier Peak still on top, 21-3.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Torrey Watkins with a little run to the left-hand side is stopped for no gain. 2nd down and 10. That's the play that just happened in front of us, and the penalty will be marked off one more time.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Jackson defense come out a little bit more, with a little bit more fire under them.
So this has definitely been a penalty-riddled second quarter, Nolan, and let's hope they get things a little more cleaned up. But a couple of big bodies still talking and smacking in the pile.
Yeah, we're seeing guys everywhere hitting after the play. Jackson definitely a lot quicker to the ball there. We only saw 4 yards of a gain for Glacier Peak there. Back to their 10-yard line.
2nd down, 15 yards to go under the 2-minute mark. Glacier Peak will put 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. And the handoff will go to the left-hand side this time. A great run, but another penalty flag down. And it would be a 1st down after that run.
Number 69 and number 77 getting into it, still way behind the play. And these are the kind of mistakes that we're going to see stall these drives.
Ellison has done a dandy job of running outside, but 2 of his bigger runs have been called back.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of anger in the trenches. A lot of anger in the trenches. Yeah, that was a really nice play, though. I think Glacier Peak can keep it on the ground for the rest of the game and kind of...
Especially if that's your focus. I mean, if that's what you're trying to work on, that's what you've been working all week in practice on, is getting this running game. It's been a bit lackluster in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
You want to spin it up well, and make a statement so that you have all the options when it gets into the long part of the season.
Glacier Peak.
Did you get that penalty, boys? That really made a big difference for GP there. That was a personal foul against Jackson, so their emotions are still running high out there as well.
Yeah, that was that number 77 we saw chipping at the end of the play.
Couldn't agree more with you, Ron. It has been a very chippy quarter. This time the bubble screen will go back to Ellison right at midfield. Picks up maybe a half a yard before taken out of bounds.
That's a name we said a lot tonight. Jack Barclay, number 45 for Jackson, sniffs out that screen immediately, sees the offensive line release, goes out to the flat and makes the tackle.
Barclay, not a giant linebacker, only 5'8", 188 pounds, a junior. But not afraid to make things happen, not afraid to put a hat on somebody.
Timeout from Jackson being taken.
And the anchor will go back out of the STSPN ship. We'll take a timeout, 21-3, Glacier Peak.
Hey, sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the Wesco Conference are playing? Who won the game last night? And what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on WescoAthletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making WescoAthletics.com the place to view official schedules, scores, standings, photos for all the schools and all the sports in the Wesco Conference. Check out WescoAthletics.com, the official website of the Wesco Conference.
Glacier Peak with a
dominant lead.
Pretty decent lead.
Yeah.
Right before the half, as the band gets ready, in position on the far track. And it is 2nd down and 10 at midfield. And I think you're right, Mr. Dale. I just do some clock management, but then as soon as I say that, back to pass and a keeper and plenty of room, plenty of daylight. in front of the legs of quarterback Tyson Lang.
That was a really nice keep by Tyson Lang. Everybody's covered downfield, but they put everybody downfield, and he just takes off. And that's some good speed coming from your quarterback there. That's the future of football, is a mobile quarterback.
Got a nice screen from one of his downfield linemen.
Preston Weaver.
And was it Weaver that did it?
Yeah, Weaver came out with his arms.
And there's Lang, who once again loses the football, has to pick it up, and this time isn't quite as shifty, and he is felled by Josh Aho.
Josh Aho with a great tackle there. A little bit of a mental mistake by Tyson Lang here, not tucking the ball. The coach will definitely get on you for that. You have to have good ball control, and holding it like a loaf of bread, not going to get you some praise.
Jackson Carter, the junior, also in on that tackle after some good pursuit. Lang plenty of time. Fires one over the middle, caught for 20 yards and the first down.
Matthew Torgerson, the go-to guy on those slant routes. Tyson Lang hangs out, got all day back there. Slant route across the middle to Matthew Torgerson.
Outstanding big body, 6 foot, $165, but Lang just put that one right in his breadbasket. Didn't have to go the top side to drag it down.
No, Tyson Lang takes a spike there, stop the clock at 23 seconds.
And why not get a chance at increasing this lead and really putting it high school out of reach at 28-3.
I think we're seeing that pass really open up across the middle there. Those linebackers are really sitting before they make any reads.
Not sure why they stopped the clock on that, but sure was to GP's benefit.
It looked like a spike because it's 2nd down and 10. So they did it themselves. And well open now one more time. Lang will take it up past the 10, past the 5, got some room, tripped up just inside the 5-yard line at the 3.
Are they calling him out of bounds? That would be big for it. Is out of bounds.
Clock will stop with 14 seconds to go.
Smart play by Tyson Lang there. Smart.
Finding the stripe on that left-hand side. You knew he was going for the pylon.
Yeah, he was.
It
he got
wasn't
a
about getting
out.
It wasn't about getting out of bounds.
Tyson Lang looking good there, showing his legs on this drive, and I think we might see some more of that in the second half with the way this is working out.
Another timeout here on the field at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Will stay right here on STSPN. Keith Neely, Nolan Dale, Ron the Wedge Henthorn on the sideline. Of course, we've got Todd Elvig with all the bells and whistles up here. Go ahead, Ron.
I think Jackson took that time out, and I'm not sure why. GP was in a hurry-up-go offense, but apparently they weren't catching up. So,
well, Jackson must not have been in the hurry-up-go defense.
I'd like to see some option plays come out from Glacier Peak here. I know there's somewhere in that playbook, and Tyson Lang showing he wants to stretch those legs a little bit. Between Dylan Owen and Tyson Lang, you could have a pretty nice duo.
Owen off to the left-hand side of the Lang. They're talking about things, and now they'll get into the set. One leg kick from Lang. He'll go back to pass. He'll swing it out right-hand side with his wheels. Look into the middle, into some traffic. An incomplete pass. And 2 Jackson Timberwolves collided after that ball, or they may have just come up with a pick in the end zone.
That was Torgerson and Corwin doing crossing routes in the back of the end zone there. Maybe trying to go for a pick. Unfortunately, Timberwolves run into each other.
Roman Vicente
on the ground.
One of the Jackson Timberwolves on the ground. He lost his hat on that play.
How about Tyson Lang throwing that in the traffic back there?
And had the Timberwolves not caught that ball, that's a dangerous decision on the 3-yard line with 9 seconds to go.
All right. Jackson Timberwolves clear the end zone. Might be a while.
2 unfortunate injuries so far.
With only 9 seconds left.
And we're trying to get an idea of what is happening in the end zone.
He came up without his helmet on, so it must have been a pretty good collision in the back there.
And we will take a short break here with the injury on the field on STSPN just before the half. 9 seconds showing on the clock. Grizzlies 21, Timberwolves 3. We'll be back in just a moment.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Garrett Holden was the man down for the Timberwolves. He pops right up and sprints off the field. And I think he hit it right, Nolan. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him on that play. And now back to pass one more time as Lang has a man easily open on the left-hand side on the deep pylon.
And who else?
Touchdown.
Who else but Corwin on that back pylon again, the bread and butter of this Glacier Peak offense over these last 3 weeks.
Has not had as many yards as some of the receivers for Glacier Peak, but boy, he's in the right place at the right time when it comes to scoring.
He is their end zone go-to guy. Notch it up to 5 touchdowns.
Two touchdowns in the Edmonds-Woodway game on the opener. One against Snohomish, and then chalk up 2 tonight for Corwin. So yeah, 5 on the season has got to be among the leaders in the Wesco 4A as the snap, hold, and kick are all picture perfect. And the Grizzlies right before the half tack on 7 to make it 28-3.
Well, that just completely changes your game plan coming out of the half now for Glacier Peak.
Jackson, after the ejection and the extracurricular, were as far down as the 30-yard line. Only, 3 minutes ago?
3 minutes ago, not able to make the stop. Glacier Peak offense missing Trevor Meldrum and Ryan Black tonight after the unfortunate injury and the expulsion from the game. We'll have to see. Yeah, that probably means Ryan Black cannot play next week, yeah. If Ryan Black threw punches on that play, as the ref said he did, he will be suspended probably for the next game, and it will be reviewed, hopefully.
That next week's game is against Kamiak. 2 on the road coming up for Glacier Peak. Goddard Stadium, 7 o'clock against Kamiak next Friday, and then the October 4th game is a big game against Cascade, leading Cascade so far, also 2-0, has put up a whole lot of points on opponents through 2 games at Everett Memorial. That's the early game on the 4th, 5 p.m. kickoff for that one, and then 2 back here against Lake Stevens and Mariner. Those 2 will be on STSPN. That one bobbled a bit off the kickoff. And I think right now both teams just happy to head into the tunnel and get some Gatorade and call this a half.
28-3, Glacier Peak leads at the end of the half. Seeing a dominant offense from Glacier Peak tonight.
And it hasn't been that Jackson has not had offense. We see 3 points on a beautiful kick by Yoon. But they have definitely marched the ball against a very good, very athletic Glacier Peak defense.
Very quick defense, yes.
And still, Glacier Peak bending a little bit, but did not break one single time. Jackson's still looking for their first touchdown of the year.
Let's see if Jackson can make the one improvement and convert in the red zone after the half.
So we are looking now for Ron Henthorn, who's down on the sidelines.
Ron, did you pick up anybody for an interview?
Not sure he got anybody yet.
I do not see Ronnie.
So we will take a break here before we come back with the halftime interview from Ron Henthorn. Glacier Peak 28, Jackson 3. 1 half in the books here at Veterans Memorial. You're watching STSPN.
You know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family. That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's.
Welcome back after the half. Ron Henthorn down on the sidelines trying to wedge his way in for an interview with Shane Keck.
I want to grab him here. Shane, Coach, tough first half. What do you want to talk about this half?
I just want to talk about playing clean football.
All right, so good. Your offense is working pretty good on the running game down there.
Yeah, I like the way we're running the football. I think kids are getting good blocks and backs are finding the hole.
So what are you going to work on the second half?
I think we just got to play smart, play within ourselves. Don't be too emotional. Obviously a big rivalry game, so the tempers get flared a little bit. So we just got to be able to control our emotions and just go play football.
I think that'll happen in the second half. So fans are worrying about Meldrum. Have you heard anything about him?
Have not.
Well, we wish him lots of luck, and good luck to you in the second half, Coach.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, there you have it, Keith.
Thank you, Ron. Very sound advice from head coach Shane Keck in his first year here at the helm. Obviously been part of this program for quite some time and has the commanding 28-3 lead. Nolan, Coach talked a lot about the running game in the before the game. Obviously a point he wants to drive home with his crew. What are you seeing so far?
I'm seeing a lot of good stuff from Glacier Peak tonight on the running game. Like Coach said, a lot of guys getting out in front and making good blocks, impact blocks, and we're seeing a lot of hard running from Dylan Owen, Ryan Black previously, and Isaiah, is that who that was?
That was, you think I would have it here?
That's all right. I think it was
Isaac Elson.
Isaac Elson, yeah. We've seen a couple of appearances from Isaac Elson. He's been looking pretty good, too.
And you may not see it in the stat sheet after the game, but he's had a lot of good runs around the end. Ellison has, but two of them called back on penalties. So you won't see that in the stat sheet.
That goes right back to the other thing that Coach said. They got to play within themselves. They got to play a lot of clean football, and that way you can run this clock down in the second half and maintain this run game.
Glacier Peak will get the kickoff here and start this third quarter up 28-3. Tyson Lang will hand the ball off on the first play from the second half scrimmage, and there's some more extracurricular. So right off the bat, we're getting right back into the emotional, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but you look at some of this interior work in here, and there's a lot of very unhappy people.
That was indeed a punch from number 72 for sure. A little bit of a late whistle from the refs there, though. I think we're going to see a good defensive adjustment from Jackson, stacking the box a little bit more.
Second down and 8 yards to go after the 2-yard pickup. Ball on the 22-yard line. And one more time, an interior handoff. And falling forward, Owen crosses the 25-yard line, about a yard and a half short of the first down.
There you go, Dylan Owen doing a really good job all night, finding the open hole. Really good job at jump cutting across the lanes, too. And I think he's almost gotten to the second level every time he's touched the ball.
Third down and 1. And the trips on this near side. We've seen this formation most of the night. And there again is a handoff, bouncing outside. Ellison into the ball game, takes a spin, gets free, past 2 linebackers and into the backfield, and that is what makes this running game work, when you can hand the ball off to Owen one time, hand it off to Black another, and then Ellison, your third stringer, extremely capable.
Isaac Ellison with a really sweet spin move there, sheds a couple of different tackles, and then it's off to the foot races. Number 7 catches him from behind.
Actually, that's 27, Kelly.
Oh. Well, we got to give credit where credit is due. That's Joey Kelly for Glacier Peak.
Outside to number 85 one more time. Starts inside, pops it back outside. Torgensen still chewing up big yardage.
Matthew Torgensen, how many times have we seen him do that same play tonight? Once again, that's just bread and butter for Glacier Peak.
First down and 10 after 2 giant pickups.
Now we see Isaac Ellison.
I think that was Ellison in there. I think I got the 1 is a 7 or 7 is a 1. And it is Ellison, and he'll get the handoff one more time up the middle. He has got some quick steps. On the first 2 or 3 steps through that line are explosive.
Every time Glacier Peak runs this ball, they're straight up to the second level, and these running backs are doing a great job of making everybody miss. I think we see 74, Travis Anderson, make a block out to the linebacker, and then Isaac Ellison does a really good job of making 2 to 3 men miss.
Xavier Bonifacio looked like he had to stop there about 3-4 yards deep, the linebacker, but just got a swing, an arm swing, trying to haul a jersey down, didn't ever get a body on. And now another running back. One more time, Glacier Peak this time puts a different Isaiah Tabobo in, 5'5", 175 pounds.
Isaiah Tabobo just lowers his head there and just delivers a hit. He says, I'm going to get that extra yard, and it's just going to be right over the top of you.
Jackson's going to need an extra set of ice in the locker room after this game. They are taking a beating. Second down and 9 yards to go. Ball on the 23, well inside Glacier Peak territory. Threatening one more time are the Grizzlies. Bubble screen. Comes back inside, bounces it all the way across, running north-south, and close to the first down off the reception. They will give him the first down. Corwin
with another nice bubble screen, 69 out front. Corwin decides to use the ref to the field advantage and jumps around it. Nice pickup by Corwin there. These bubble screens have been going for pretty good yardage every single time.
Absolutely have been the whole night long for Glacier Peak. And Jackson needs a stop or two just to get their wits about him. There's another handoff. And, that's a swing pass. Play action fake, caught the play up here.
Play action to the bubble screen to Preston Weaver, and that's good for another 3-4 yards.
How about a Preston Weaver catch?
There we go.
Didn't have to hit a hot potato, didn't have to catch a screamer.
Yeah, Tyson Lang did a good job just leading him out of that bubble screen there. That's a well-placed ball, not too hot. And Preston Weaver finally makes his grab tonight.
Weaver 5 targets, has struggled with the first 4. That time picks it up and heads into 4 or 5 yards. They'll get him on that screen. And here's the pitch out to the right-hand side, all the way to the pylon. Can he get through? They'll mark him just short of the end zone at the 1 yard mark.
It seems like Glacier Peak has 2 plays in their run playbook tonight. The other is zone stretch or just get all the way to the outside on a little bit of a pitch. Dylan Owen, always good for, it seems like 8 yards.
Trying to sniff out that pylon. If he could just cross it before being knocked out of bounds, it would tack on another touchdown. And this time they'll give it to Ellison.
Isaac Ellison.
And a touchdown for Glacier Peak. The first one here in the second half, and that is one jacked up young man right there. The senior has definitely earned his chance at that would be 3rd and goal from the 1. He earned that chance right there.
Yeah, it's nice when a team can trust their run game enough to just hand it off right up the middle on the 1 yard line and know they're going to score that touchdown.
So 34-3 now with 8:07 to go, third quarter.
Glacier Peak coming out strong.
One of those 80-yard drives that coaches just love to see. A couple of big plays mixed in there, along with a couple of just keep it going plays.
Oh, We get a jump from the Jackson defense.
It'd be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, I think I'm a little in over my head there.
It might be just a bit. Tyler Minshew throwing it around the yard for you. Be a little bit of a different ball game. 8:07 to go. We're awaiting the PAT on the Ellison 1-yard scamper. And it is up and through, and it is 35-3. It is all Glacier Peak. It is all running game here in the third quarter. And we will take a break in this rivalry matchup on STSPN. Glacier Peak well in charge over the T-Wolves.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Glacier Peak puts their 4th touchdown on the board here in the third quarter. It all started with a Matt Torgerson touchdown catch from Lang for 20 yards to get the scoring started. As we watch the kickoff to Jackson, hauled in at the 10-yard line. Popping out to the right-hand side, the man who has done most of this work is Brendan Sandico for the Grizzlies.
The big theme for Jackson tonight, the don't quit. That's what the coach kept talking about. And hopefully we see that coming with a 35-3 right out of the half. It can kind of wear down on your team a little bit, mentally make you want to quit. And I think this Jackson team's got enough fire underneath them to keep going.
And, of course, if you're in a situation, it's a rebuilding year. You're starting over with all the schemes, all the new coaching staff, just down to watching film and discipline and your day-to-day activities are all into a blender, shaking up and starting over. It's hard on a football team. It's hard on a program. And right now you can see they're a bit of a tough time getting 11 men on the field. There's the handoff and a bounce outside, plenty of room. If he can turn the corner, gets around one man. Howe's got some daylight past the 30, past the 35, down to the first down marker and out of bounds. They'll pick him up on a 12-yard scamper.
That was a slick little move from Brendan Sendico there. He fakes that inside cut and bounces it right back outside. And I think 3 Glacier Peak defenders bid on that.
And that crossing route by that receiver to take that defensive back off the corner was about as big as the run around the end.
Yeah.
Now it'll be 1st and 10 on a good start to a drive here, the first one for Jackson in the second half.
We'll see if Glacier Peak can maintain the tempo they've had all night.
Clark in the backfield alongside Sandico, and they'll hand it to the runner for no gain.
Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by number 73. Mason Bridges.
Bridges just filling a gap.
I feel like Sandico is well over 20 attempts tonight.
I think you're right, and only a junior.
Really showing himself.
Not flashy.
Not flashy
at all. Just a workhorse,
but
and gets after it and uses that first couple of steps of speed, but I'd be more worried about him getting around the end. That's where I think he's dangerous.
He's definitely shown some nice open field moves tonight.
Same set, trips on the near side you see here in front of us. And Clark will call things out on the option on the short porch. Will take it himself. And it's tough to run an option short field.
Short field, that's a really risky play call. Triple option to the short side too. You 90% of the time want to dump it off to that inside man and hope he can make a cut off the back of the wall, just stretching that play down the field. We see Nathan keep it there, and it goes for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, and you got a third less of the field to work with. It gets very compact very quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah, you need time to let the options kind of work themselves out.
3rd down and 11. They'll mark it for a 1-yard loss. After that option goes for 0, and now back to pass over the middle, caught and immediately tackled there, and a great job in the flat. The ball comes loose, but I think Jackson still holds on to it. It will be 4th down.
Jack Johnson with a very nice stop there. Immediately picked up that drag route, and it looked like he went to the ground fighting for that ball. So we're going to see Glacier Peak still come out, even though they're held them to 3. They're coming out fighting for sure in the second half.
So 4th down will bring on the kicking unit, the punting unit for Jackson.
We've seen some weird schemes come out of this punting unit for Jackson tonight. Kind of confused Glacier Peak a couple times.
The best punt of the night, though, was the Glacier Peak onside. Actually, it was a kick, onside kick, right into a perfect spot in what would normally be the flat on a pass route. There's the long boot, and it will be taken in at the 30 and down there for Glacier Peak. So yet one more offensive set stalling for Jackson. Glacier Peak looking to really put the nail in this 3rd quarter coffin, and they can do it with a touchdown here.
Yeah, if they drive the field, keep it on the ground, chew up all this clock, and then put it into the end zone, we might be looking at the ending to this game, maybe a little preemptively.
We mentioned the Torgerson 20-yard score to start things off the Lang throw, and then Owen with the 15-yard run made it 14-0. You had Corwin catch for 13 yards to make it 21-3, and then Corwin one more time on a catch. Another great job at chewing up massive yardage for Glacier Peak right out of the 1st down.
Yeah, that's Isaac Ellison. Isaac Ellison again. It just seems like Glacier Peak can keep finding these lanes and keep going for 10 or so yards every single play.
Ellison will remain in the backfield just to the right of quarterback Tyson Lang. And Lang will now throw the bubble screen out. That one will go nowhere.
There we go, a good open field tackle.
Zach Johnson with the catch. And 86 on the stop.
I think that's the Italian.
87, Xavier Bonificio.
Last week,
the linebacker.
Last week, Glacier Peak only runs the ball for 86 yards with Ryan Black and Dylan Owens, 7 yards. Completely different story this week.
Absolutely, and you were getting everybody involved. 3 running backs, and of course now here comes Owen, and he'll bulldog his way, manhandles his way for 12 yards in the 1st down.
I'm the kind of guy that loves to give the offensive line credit where it's due, but Owen tonight, he just doesn't want to be stopped. I think there's 3 or 4 guys he makes
hanging on jerseys. That's a man play right there.
He just drags them with him. Where's
Mr.
the fridge?
Manley.
Where's the fridge?
1st down and 10 to go. Inside Jackson territory with the ball on the 44-yard line. 4:16 to go, 3rd quarter. And one more time, handing the ball off and into a pile and into the defensive back. Still on his feet is Owen. He's to the 10, to the 5. Can he get there? No! Upended at the 4-yard line. Now they'll down him at the 2.
That was hard running once again by Dylan Owen.
You have got to stop him at the line. The linebackers are bouncing off. The defensive backs are getting run over.
We're seeing a lot of missed tackles from Jackson, and I'm actually getting speechless. There needs to be some sort of adjustment. I feel like the D-line is not maintaining gap assignment and letting these linebackers get lost in the confusion.
1st down and goal to go with the ball on the 3-yard line.
Looks like we have an injury down on the far sideline.
The Jackson player is down just to the left out of frame here on the screen. The shot you are seeing just about the 10-yard line extended. They'll finally get that player off to the bench, and we will start this 1st down and goal to go. Play call coming in from the sideline. Nick Bender doing the offensive calls from the booth. There's the Owen run around the left end. Touchdown, GP.
Dylan Owen quick around the edge, lowers his shoulders and levels the defender to get in for Glacier Peaks.
Here you see it again on the top of your screen, and he was past the end line and still popped the wall.
I think Dylan Owen likes to hit. I think he likes to hit downfield too.
And I don't know if the ringing in Owen's helmet was greater than the Jackson defender, but you could hear the pop up here.
You said something at half, Keith, that I really liked. And you can't let these Glacier Peak running backs get any steam underneath them, because when they come at you, they're coming at you hard. And we've actually seen them hit open field when they have the chance to move around.
And Jackson is not getting any stops deep in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage, so all the work has to come from the linebackers and defensive backs, and that wears you down.
I'm sure those linebackers and safeties are getting a little tired of getting popped in the mouth every single play.
42-3, that does not lie. Glacier Peak well on their way to their third victory of the year. You're watching STSPN.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium here at Snohomish. STSPN football on Friday night. The lights are on, and Glacier Peak enjoying the entertaining. They are the entertainers.
Yeah.
Tonight, up 42-3.
Yeah, this has definitely been a little bit of a walk away in the second half. Glacier Peak up 2 touchdowns. Glacier Peak up 2 touchdowns to Jackson's nothing. Unanswered points.
Glacier Peak put 35 on Edmonds Woodway in game 1, only 24 against rival Snohomish in game 2. But I are bumping up the average here in game 3 with 42 on Glacier Peak. There's the run around the end.
Sendico dropped that one a little bit. Kind of a squib kick rolled up to him. Wasn't able to get possession very quickly.
So Jackson pinned up against their own end zone. We'll start 1st and 10. The ball on the 8-yard line, and they've got those 92 yards have been really hard to get.
Yeah.
We've seen Jackson actually do very well. I think their largest drive was about 80, they got down inside the 10, so 80 yards or so.
Yeah, they were a plus 80-yard drive, but we've seen them sizzle out 3 times in the red zone.
It comes in, it fizzles. They just have no life at the end of the drive. And unfortunate for Jackson. Certainly a capable offense, as Clark will hand the ball off to the right-hand side to the man who is everything right now. Sendico will pick up 6.
Sendico always looks good. He's the man who won't quit, and this offense is really sticking to its guns here. And they're going to keep handing the ball off no matter what the score says.
Jackson will finish tonight, but it doesn't get any easier. Next Friday against Cascade at Everett Memorial.
That's a good team.
And then maybe a bit of a breather against Mariner at Everett Memorial. 2 home games for Jackson. And now Jackson struggling with the communication, have an extra man on the field and are forced to call timeout.
Yeah, so Jackson down 42-3. We came into this game with a point differential of 3 to 80. And if it sticks here, we leave with a point differential of
102 to 6.
102 to 6.
So yeah, not necessarily the way you want to start your first 3 games of the season.
122 to 6.
But again, the head coach Mason Siddick was very, very blunt in our little talk before the game about making every game a learning experience, gaining something from it.
I would say they've actually hit some of their goals tonight. You know, Mason Siddick did say, hey, we want to keep it on the ground. We want to do what we do best on offense. And we're seeing them do that. They keep handing it off. We've seen some really good passes, too, from the quarterback, Nathan Clark.
Clark in the backfield along with Sendico. 2nd down and 4 with the ball on the Jackson 14-yard line. Here's Sandico, gets one block and crosses what looks like just shy of the first down. I believe they're going to mark him about a half a foot shy. Second, it should be third down and inches. Now Maxim Wave, not a very favorable spot at all for Jackson. They'll give him about a yard and a half short. Third down.
Might not be favorable, but it was the right one.
Ron looking straight down the line right there. He has the best seat in the house, right at the, I think you're standing on the 18-yard line. The ball's on the 17 right now. You need to take a step to your right, Ron. And here is the inside pitch, and it will score the first down across the 20-yard line.
There's that triple option. They went near side again, but this time Duke give it up to that inside pitch, and he goes for probably 4.
Gutsy move.
Gutsy move once again, but it pays off.
First down and 10 with 2:20 remaining third quarter.
The play calling coming from Jackson is keeping it on the ground every single play. So are we thinking here we're not looking for the win anymore? We're just trying to get better as a team and learn from this experience?
I think drives are drives. I think you're passing it, you're running it, you're using your playbook to its fullest, and these kids need to learn. I definitely think you're running the ball. It's been successful, and that's part of sustaining a drive. And there's the handoff. Sandico stumbles a bit on his right-hand side, gathers his feet and into the pile, but still picks up 3.
Glacier Peak number 18 on the play. Caleb Dellinger has a nice squeeze down there for a good tackle.
Defensive end, the senior, 6'1", 155 pounds, with the flowing locks out underneath his helmet.
Yeah, that's kind of the cool thing nowadays for these kids.
And a second down and 7. And the option one more time. There's the pitch out on the right-hand side. Plenty of room around that right end. And I am noticing, Nolan, the defensive backs for Glacier Peak are playing a good cushion. They are playing deep 10 yards now, almost tempting Nathan Clark to throw the ball.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to give them their space. They're not coming downfield so fast, and it's a good adjustment on the defensive side. It's definitely the kind of defense you need to be playing right now. I did like that pitch from Nathan Clark, though. He really lets Sandico kind of set that edge before giving him the ball, bringing that defense more towards Clark.
4 yards short of the first down. Clark hauls out, gets the snap, and then a very wide open throw off into the left-hand side to Sandico for another first down.
That's a nice play call, that wheel route. They took all of those, like you said, really soft defense. They took them all downfield. Sandico around the outside, wheel route, good for a first down.
Plenty of daylight around that left-hand side. And also Clark being very patient, selling his eyes downfield.
Yeah.
And then finds his running back out on the left-hand side for the first down. And here's a little sustained drive. This is exactly what Jackson was trying to build for.
I mean, look how much clock they've eaten on this drive. 33 seconds to go.
Clark calls the snap, and Sandico gets through one tackler, another tackler, stands up, a linebacker, and then falls forward for 2, and that was going to go for loss.
Yeah, there's
I like this kid.
There's a lot of positives on this drive for Jackson. We're seeing a lot of good details, very good minute details that aren't easy to pick up. Lake Stevens 28, Monroe 14. Lake Stevens 73, Monroe 28.
73.
Wow.
73 basketball score.
That's not a.
We came out and hit the 3 ball.
Yeah. That's not an easy defense to be putting 73 points up on.
Smoke in. Wow. 73 points in a high school football game. That's a track meet.
Yeah.
We got a timeout here as we switch ends on the quarter break. 42-3, the Grizzlies on top. And around the rest of the league, we saw some of the scores. We'll try to keep them up for you. Mount Vernon is at Cascade. Cascade's, they've got a pretty decent club right now. And have put up 37.5 points a game. Of course, their defense giving up 30 points a game. But definitely the Bruins can put some points up.
Hey, if you can outscore them, just outscore them. Play the race.
Glacier Peak just under that, second in the 4A West standings with 29.5 before tonight. Of course, that will elevate.
A lot less points scored against, too.
Yeah, 8.5, definitely. And of course, after tonight, that even decreases. So the differential, the advantage will definitely be Glacier Peak. And the only other team putting up more points than any of the rest of those is Lake Stevens. And of course, you just heard the score. That will go for definitely the most points average in the Wesco 4A.
That was a quick little fly sweep to number 6, Roman Vicente. Kind of a different play than we've seen tonight.
Yep. And why not? Right now you're in learning mode. Mason Siddick had talked about doing exactly that when we talked to him before the game tonight, that their kids are going to learn. They're getting better every week. And it's mighty tough to start over.
Yeah. I'm sure Coach Ketch is very happy with how clean this defense has been.
Doing very well on defense. Of course, being a defensive guy,
he loves it.
That's his thing. Back to pass is Clark. And a long ball over the top. Caught by Roman Vicente into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackson.
That was a nice burn by Roman Vicente right across the middle. Slants, beats the safety, and off to the foot races. The first touchdown of the season. What do you got, Ronnie?
Got the Jackson crowd on their feet down there after that play. That was a pretty one, and he was wide open.
3 yards and a pile of dust for 3 plays, and then one long over the top.
I'm sure Jackson's very happy with that, and that caps off probably the best drive we've seen from Jackson all night.
And you're looking down at the coaching staff on the sidelines of Jackson across from us, and they are high fives abound. That has to take a little bit of the sting out of this ball game.
Yeah.
When you know you can put a really nice drive together. And one more time, Jackson's struggling to make sure they've got the correct amount of guys on the field. Had to run one off at the last minute on this PAT. Yoon will put it through.
We've seen that a lot today, too, on these point afters, or these field goals, I should say, for Jackson, is a lot of white jerseys getting back to you.
Very close.
Yeah. And we've seen that on the punts also.
42-10, Jackson on this long pass to Vicente over the top. Get their first touchdown of the season and makes it 42-10. And we'll take a quick break. You're watching STSPN High School Football on Friday night.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Welcome back to this STSPN broadcast. Keith Neely, Nolan Dale with you. Up here in the booth, Ron Henthorn down on the field, and always good to be with the hand man over here.
Yeah, Todd Elvig.
Todd Elvig on the con. Got the controls high atop Veteran Memorial Stadium, and I want to give a shout out also to our guest camera is Liana Delgado. Thank you, Liana, for being with us tonight. Doing a heck of a job with the Iris.
First time, too. First time running the camera.
She's got it. She's down. She's a ringer.
Yeah.
Sign her up.
So what would be cool to see come out of this now would be a Jackson turnover, best case scenario, maybe a 3-and-out from Glacier Peak, and see Jackson really start taking over.
Of course, Glacier Peak being up now has got some bodies on the field that would not normally start a ball game. They get a lot of that, and that's how teams get better, and that's how dynasties are built.
Yeah.
Is when you can play a lot of people in games like this, get that game time experience, that speed that isn't there in practice a lot of times. Or you just run back the kickoff for a touchdown.
One guy to beat.
That'll help you too. Yoon, the only guy left. Can Jackson catch up? On the 10. No! Touchdown! Holy smoke, coast to coast!
It's always Matthew Torgerson filling up his highlight reel. He's doing a great job tonight, and he just takes that one probably close to 100 yards.
95 yards, gathers it in on the 5, and pay dirt on the other end.
That was a sweet run by Matthew Torgerson.
Holy cow, look at that. High stepping it, 1, 2, and in.
How about that run, Ronnie?
I'm right in the middle of a big cheering crowd down here, guys. The coaches are going crazy. The players are going crazy. They got really excited about that one.
Yeah, that one got everybody on their feet. A sea of white clothing out here tonight on the Glacier Peak Whiteout night.
48-10. And just as Jackson gets a little something going, that'll hurt.
I don't know if Matthew Torgerson is exactly JV material.
Nope. Torgerson able to bounce it outside on that left. And the PAT is good, 49-10. It's all downhill now for Glacier Peak.
Does that put this game into a running clock yet?
I believe so.
Oh, if they would have gone for 2, it would have been into a running clock.
Yeah, okay. 50-10.
50-10. Yeah,
50-10. You're not going for 2. Hate to tell you.
That's just a little
That's
unsportsman.
a little salt in the giant open wound that is Jackson right now.
Well, Jackson gets the ball back. We saw a very nice, efficient drive.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
There really was nothing wrong with that. You got a big play that got you the touchdown, but the big play set up by a lot of good things.
Yeah, it was absolutely a lot of good things, and we saw them stick to their game on the ground, handing it off to Brendan Sandico, and he's been on fire tonight. He's definitely their go-to guy, definitely a bell cow.
Roman Vicente getting the touchdown, the very first one of the Timberwolves season. And they can definitely continue to learn here and pick up another touchdown. I think would sit very well with head coach Mason Siddick. That one into the end zone for a touchback. Jackson will start 1st and 10 on their own 20.
So you talked about building a team, building a dynasty, and part of your program is when you're up 49-10 is always putting in those second string guys, letting your JV guys get that game time. And Glacier Peak has always been very good at that, at getting bodies through. Even when you're on defense, Glacier Peak will always be rotating linemen out, rotating linebackers out. If you're getting too gassed, they always rotate bodies. So we should be seeing a lot of new faces right about now for Glacier Peak coming in.
Fourth quarter, 10:47 to go, so plenty of time to get your reps in.
Yeah, maybe get a letter.
That's right, get enough quarter time in. Nathan Clark back. We'll throw that little inside pitch. We'll go for 5 yards, and that has been effective. It's definitely not a one-trick pony.
No, that's
Vicente got the inside little pitch off, and he'll take his 5.
5's nothing ever to complain about. And like we said, Jackson's doing a really good job of not doing these big boom or bust drives, but they're putting 5-yard runs down every single play. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to see, if they could have done that at the beginning of the game, you'd see a completely different ball game right about now.
Well, you sustain 2 of those drive to their completion.
Yeah.
You have a bit of a different ball game, too. I think Glacier Peak definitely has the advantage in the size and the quickness, the athleticism right now, which is probably why you see this big score. There's the pitch out and the cutback. And this time did not quite get the trickery that he's been used to. Brendan Sandico has been able to bust 2 or 3 of those tackles at a time. Not so lucky on that one.
Glacier Peak very well defended there by the defense. When you see those option plays, what you have to do is just pick a man and attack whoever's got the ball, and hopefully the guy next to you is playing his assignment and going after the other guy. We see Glacier Peak do that to a T there and just attack the quarterback and force a pitch. So good job there by probably the Glacier Peak second string defense.
3rd down and 6. The ball on the 24, back to pass. New quarterback in. Overthrows. And I'm trying to catch that was Clark.
Yeah, it does look different though, huh?
Yeah. And Clark throws the incompletion, and it'll bring up 4th down. So 4th one more time. This drive not as sustainable.
An odd-looking unit again from Jackson. It's hard to immediately tell what they're going to do on this 4th down.
Looked like they had the regular crew in, other than Clark did trot off the field early, and they're still mixing things up. So part of that's just learning schemes, not having a lot of special team practice. There's Yoon, and again, heavy pressure coming in at him on that punt. And Yoon that was a defensive punt right there. Just get rid of the ball.
So you see the Jackson guys kind of shuffling around pre-play there. And I got to say, Jackson now also starting to put in their second string, probably their JV. And it gets pretty nerve-wracking your first time out there on the field. You can start making some stupid mistakes because you're getting a little excited, kind of getting those butterflies. And it'll be interesting to see how the JV versus JV game can fare out.
Yeah, that first time you get a pop on somebody or you get popped.
With that placement with the ball for GP, that punt didn't even make a first down.
So a 9-yard punt is what you're saying there, Ron. Okay, there's the pass, or handoff rather, on the left-hand side it goes, or right-hand side. I can't get my left and my right. And it looks like Cody Wenland is stepping in at quarterback for Glacier Peak. The senior, 6'4", 185 pounds, getting his time.
Running that ball, number 42, Isaiah. I don't want to mess this name up. Tabobo had a nice run on the last drive for Glacier Peak down near the 10-yard line that set up the run by Owen for the touchdown around that left-hand side. So he's definitely been in the ball game a few times. This time he'll get the handoff, but met immediately. And that's one of those first interior penetration plays for the Jackson defense where they're able to get past the line and into the backfield. That's one thing we've been seeing, the adjustment from Glacier Peak. Compared last week to this week, the interior pressure was just crazy last week. They were always able to beat up the middle. This week we're seeing the offensive line hold their ground a lot better.
Loss of 1, 3rd down and 11 for Glacier Peak. There's Wenland.
For Glacier Peak, you got Corey Wendell in there, quarterback now too, guys.
Yeah, Wenland will hand the ball off.
That was number 39.
That time, Prudhomme.
Travis,
5'10", he's a senior, 160 pounds. So, yeah, everybody getting a little turn. 4th down, and the punting team will come on for Glacier Peak.
Well, I remember my first varsity snap as a freshman, and I lined up across from a 6'3" Linwood defensive lineman that ended up playing somewhere in the SEC. And I got head slapped so hard I couldn't see straight for probably 10 seconds.
As we wake up and it's Wednesday.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was. That was not a fun play.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that coaches have to be aware of too, is when the time is right to make those first starts, because they can be overwhelming. There's the kick, and it'll be taken in at the 10, and all the way down. Got to be careful now. Busting around the end, the speedster Santico will get all the way up to the 25-yard line, but that will come back.
Late flag out on the play. Sandico, man, look at this guy.
He is sneaky.
He is just
Houdini.
Quick and doesn't quit. You can't ask for more.
Does not quit. You can think you've got him in the cuffs. You think you've got him wrapped up.
Yeah.
And he just squirts free.
That was some danger zone back there.
Yeah, it was
running along the goal line like
little
that.
tense.
I probably would have been too scared. I probably would have just dropped on it. I don't know how I got those feet.
Yeah, you and I both don't have that. That amount of wheels. The octane is not there anymore for this man. I'll tell you what. 6:49 to go, fourth quarter. 49-10 GP. Right now in the lead over the Timberwolves. Jackson probably in one of their last possessions here of the ball game. What are they going to do with it?
Hopefully learn.
Even with that illegal block, Jackson's in a better position than they almost were down at the goal line a while ago.
You got that absolutely right, Ron.
Sandico definitely salvaged something for him there.
As a matter of fact, he came so close to that end zone. That's Probably not something he's going to look back on the film and think too highly of. It may not have been a good idea.
Keenan Quill there on the jet sweep. And I'm liking it. I'd like to see Jackson open up the playbook just a little bit more, but they also could be reserving. Maybe go into a game next week with a little bit more weapons.
The junior Quill involved in a lot of these counter plays and the sweep plays that if you're not calling Sandico or Vicente's name, Quill is right around the ball or has it.
Yeah. I think he's definitely one of their behind-the-scenes receivers, too. I've seen him out there making good hits and good blocks.
So he's got quiet yardage tonight, for sure. A couple of big catches over the middle. And one more time on the jet sweep, this time off to the left-hand side, not nearly as successful. Ball comes popping loose.
Yeah, Glacier Peak did a nice job there flowing with that play. Really sniffing it out. I did like that, though, from Keenan Quill. Kind of patient back there, kind of waiting to see where something would open up, and when nothing did, he just came to the sideline with it.
Brings up 3rd down after no gain, 3rd down and 7. Jackson 2 at home coming up. It'd be nice to get back to the cozy confines of Everett Memorial Stadium. Cascade and Mariner next up. And that will be no gain, and Jackson will be forced to punt one more time. Jackson finishes their season Monroe Mount Vernon on the road, Lake Stevens at home, and then Kamiak at Goddard will finish things off for Jackson.
So I think this Glacier Peak offense comes out. Let's talk about a Glacier Peak offensive weapon. Bryden Corwin. I don't think the yards are there. I think this guy is just their end zone look tonight.
Yeah, it's got to feel good, right?
Yeah. So last week he goes 5 receptions, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. And that seems to be his thing is he's just always there in the end zone, always looking to get open.
But coaches like those guys that are strong-handed,
Yeah.
guarantees. One almost goes over Yoon's head, takes an extra 2 steps, almost tempts the on-rushing Glacier Peak defender, gets a nice Jackson roll down to the 35-yard line.
You nationally ranked in field goal kicking, and we've seen him getting a lot of pressure in his face tonight, and he's still been able to salvage it, kind of get it back out there. So definitely a big part of this team.
He absolutely is, and you make room for a good kicker. You absolutely do, just like you make room for a good defender in the backfield.
Well, we're down to this last 4 minutes there, so we got to be thinking about maybe who you think the player of the game is up there and who the hog out there tonight is.
Ooh, the hog of the night. What are you thinking, Keith, for game MVP?
Boy, game MVP, just based right now, my go-to so far would have to be a 95-yard scamper on a kickoff return and an added touchdown that started the scoring.
I like that one,
I got to go with Sandico. No, excuse me, wrong team.
Matthew Torgerson?
I got to go with Torgerson.
I like Matthew Torgerson a lot.
Torgerson has 2 scores, touchdown, 1 on a catch, 20-yard catch that cracked the scoring, and then the
we don't want to forget Brandon Corman. Brandon put us in this game all the first half, guys.
Yeah, obviously a contender.
So, Ronnie, your vote then is for Corwin?
That would be my vote, even though I like what Torgerson did on that run back.
If we had the stats, it would certainly be a lot easier. I'm with you, though, Nolan, that it just seems like he's there when it comes to scoring points.
Yeah.
He happens to be there when the touchdowns are needed. But absolutely right. Definitely a highlight player on.
Yeah, Corwin's always there when they need him. So is Torgerson. It's hard. This Glacier Peak offense came out with so many different weapons today that I would say the Adrenaline Sports MVP is not an easy pick tonight.
Cannot rule out your running back. Owen has definitely chewed up some big yardage, has a touchdown.
No exact stats on that because I think he's just ran so much.
He has run so many times.
Without our designated stats guy, it's kind of hard to keep track.
So, yeah, there's some choices there. Toughies. But yeah, with 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go, ouch. That was right into a pile of black jerseys.
That was a new running back for Glacier Peak, I think.
47.
I think that was 17.
Oh, 17?
Number 17, Chase Cummings.
Not a baby, Chase. You're absolutely right. Cummings with the run there is a little bit short of the first down and took a pop to end his night.
Hog of the night. Have you seen any standout lineman plays?
Boy, you guys are making it tough. Holy smoke.
Come on, Noah. That's your ballpark. Tell me what's going.
I like Tony McDaniel. Tony McDaniel's done a lot of good upfield blocking tonight. I've been seeing him get to the second level almost every play. And last week we gave it to a defensive lineman. So I think number 69, Tony McDaniel. You got that, Ronnie?
69, Tony McDaniel.
If you like Tony, I'll go with him. 69, Tony McDaniel.
Number 69, Tony McDaniel. Congratulations, Hog
Hog
of the
night. I like this award.
Yeah, that's my favorite award.
Yeah,
you
well, I can tell you snapped that one right up.
Yeah, I
There was
pay
no question.
attention. That's the most entertaining spot on the field is in the trenches. If you don't think so, you're just not cultured in football.
Definitely where it's won and lost, without question. Here's the punt. A nice, hefty punt that takes a bit of a Jackson bounce and still squirrely. This time, Keenan Quill one more time, trying to earn his money.
These Jackson weapons definitely stick it out. They just keep going.
they
just keep going.
Few athletic moves and definitely squirrely.
So who we got for POG, guys?
Boy, you're putting the pressure on.
Yeah, well, I only got a minute and a half.
I'm good with Corwin tonight.
I'm good with Corwin.
All right.
Yeah, we'll follow your lead, Ronnie. Let's go with Corwin.
All right, you got it.
2 touchdowns.
Ronnie, you happy with that one?
Yeah, very happy with that. 2 touchdowns and
13-yard catch on the first one, a 3-yard run on the second.
What do you have, 10 extra points or something like that too?
Yeah, and a couple of PATs to go with it. So yeah, they let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tack on 6 to his 14. So
It's worth
yeah,
a touchdown.
20.
He's worth a whole other touchdown.
Yeah, 20 points tonight, off the feet, legs, and arms and hands of Corwin.
That's why I call him the Renaissance Man. That's a good number right there, number 66. That's probably the best looking number on the field, huh, Todd?
I'm gonna guess. I know it's a long shot here, but I'm gonna guess that somebody else wore 66 for a little while in high school. Mr. Dale.
Oh yeah, that was it.
That had to be the one. There's the handoff. Still on his feet, pushing Jackson, not giving up.
37 seconds to go. Clock running down.
Jackson on the road. Excuse me, Glacier Peak on the road against Kamiak up at Goddard Stadium next week, 7 p.m. at the Wooden Stadium. And then to Cascade up at Everett Memorial. So the next 2 will be travel days. And then 2 at home, Lake Stevens and Memorial, and Mariner. Mariner being the homecoming game on October 18th. And then the Bearcats up at Monroe.
There we go.
And then ending the season November 1st against Mount Vernon. So,
well, not ending the season.
Well, not ending the season, ending the regular season.
Yeah.
I think that is well stated. Let's get that on paper right now. The Week 10 district games will be the week of 8th and the 9th of November. And of course, if anything stays as it has been in Glacier Peak lore, the Grizzlies will be right there.
Yeah. I don't even think they've missed a playoff
I don't think
yet.
they have either. Not that I'm aware of.
That's a pretty good tradition to build.
Yeah, and it all comes down to exactly what we were talking about. Getting kids in early. Getting the 8th graders up from the middle school to stand on the sidelines and understand what the lights and the crowds mean.
Glacier Peak does something that a lot of successful programs do, and that's they run their offense in the Little League. These kids come up, in the system the whole time.
Pre-programmed.
Everything, man. So by the time you hit high school, it's just second nature to you.
And that, you do not forget that stuff either. Just the easy things like remembering the gap numbers, remembering the defensive scheme. Some of that stuff, you don't have to teach it at that level. By the time they get to high school, boy, you're already so far in advance. So Ron is heading out to find our player of the game here. It was a tough one. I would have been easily put my vote in for any one of the three that we talked about.
Let's talk about it. We got Tyson laying through the air and on the ground. Great performance. You got the running back, Dylan Owen.
Dylan Owen was impressive early. He was probably the first quarter and a half for this Glacier Peak.
Chunked yardage for Glacier Peak all night. You got Ronnie with Coach Shane Ketch.
And the microphone. We're staring at the microphone.
Okay, you got me there?
There you go. We're ready, Ron.
All right.
Go ahead.
Hang on a minute, Brent. All right, I'm down here with Coach Shane Kick. Shane, a lot different second half than that first half. You pleased with that?
Yeah, just happy to get out of there with no more injuries, and just we gotta clean some things up. Not real happy tonight.
So, how about the offense? You like the way they're running tonight?
Yeah, I like the way we ran the ball, and I thought that was definitely an improvement for the last couple of weeks, and it's good to see.
So, if you're being a defensive coach, what happened on that long pass?
We're in cover 3. The corner jumped a hitch, and he's supposed to have deep third, but you know what? That's nothing we can't get fixed and clean up. He's a good player, and he's going to keep getting better. So it's, the credit to them. They ran a good concept and completed a good pass, and good for them.
They got to run a few laps for him tonight?
Oh, no. Just coach it up and clean it up, and, man, just keep getting better.
Okay, Coach. Thanks. Good luck for that, and we'll see you next week in the game.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Ron Henthorn with Coach.
Hey.
You could tell he was yelling a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
As Ron's working on our player of the game.
Okay, you still got me up there?
Go ahead,
Still
Ron.
got
You
you.
got the con.
Brandon Corwin, how'd you like the way you played tonight?
I was actually surprised a little bit. I felt good about it, though. We played well as a team and just came out and got touchdowns.
You know how many points you scored?
No,
How about 20?
I don't know.
Or 20 at the 48 game. 48 points tonight, man. You had a good game. You had some help from Torgerson, too, though.
Yeah, I did. I'm insane.
How do you like being the kicker and the receiver as well?
I really like it. I kind of regret not playing receiver the last 2 years. This year, the Coach Hall just really wanted me to play, and I was like, okay, I'll try it out. Went to team camp and ended up really liking it. Didn't expect to start, but now I really like it. It's really fun.
Well, I think you're doing a good job with that. So you're going to be our adrenaline player of the game tonight. So I got a shirt here, if I can find it for you. There it is. Hold that up in front of you here. And, no, that's not the right shirt. I got a better shirt. Here's the right shirt. A white shirt. It's a whiteout night, so a white shirt for you. Now there's Brandon Corwin, adrenaline fundraiser player of the game.
Nice job, Corwin.
Thank you.
So see if you can get Tony McDaniel out here for me, will you? Grab him real quick. I'll be right back with Tony, the hog of the night, if we can get him over here.
All right, Ron. Braden Corwin, our Adrenaline Sports fundraising player of the game. 2 touchdowns tonight, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. And humble player.
Braden, he didn't even care that he scored 20 points.
No, he wouldn't even know it. He was
Even-
just happy. He was happy he chose to play receiver for crying out loud.
The scoring receiver, the leading receiver for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies through 3 games, didn't even want to play receiver this year. Had to be talked into it. Decided, hey, okay, I'll go to team camp.
Quote unquote, it's a little bit of fun.
It's a little bit of fun.
I think that's
I'm
okay.
sure it is. I'm sure you're
might
having
be
fun.
when you're scoring 5 and 6 touchdowns in the first 3 games. So absolutely, hats off to you, Mr. Corwin. Braden Corwin, the senior, making the best out of his senior year here, and you can see the whiteout down at Memorial Stadium as we work out our hog of the game.
Yeah, hog of the night goes to Tony McDaniel. We'll hear from him pretty quickly. But
what'd you like about Tony so far tonight?
Yeah, so
You've already kind of talked about his downfield blocking.
yeah, so Tony, I just watched him watched him tonight, and he really got in the defense's face. He wasn't afraid to go downfield, and it looked like every play he was playing his assignment, and that's what being the hog of the night every night is because you don't get recognized because your assignment doesn't give you those big flashy plays.
And I don't think
All right, you got me up there, guys?
Go ahead, Ron, the wedge.
All right, I'm back down here with Tony McDaniel. Tony, we got a big award for you tonight. You're called the Hog of the Night. You know what that means?
I think so.
You think so?
I believe so. Yeah.
Why? That means you did a heck of a good job out there in the trenches.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You played in the mud.
Yeah. It got dirty, but we held it together and came out the dub.
Did you like the way it worked out there tonight?
Of course. We had 270-some rushing yards and just put in work.
Okay, well, I've got this nice shirt for you to hold up here tonight. Hold this up in front of you. Drop your helmet down there. We get a couple of pictures. This young lady, you get your picture here and get your picture. Tell me, Hog of the Night, real loud.
Hog of the Night!
There you go. Back to you, Keith. We're out for tonight. See you later.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron, for all the work down there, grabbing our Hog of the Night. And tell you what, McDaniel, one of those guys, he said 270. Did I hear that right? 270 yards on a team that doesn't run the ball.
You go 88 yards with Ryan Black and 7 yards with Dylan Owen last week to 270 combined yards between 3 different backs.
And if the emphasis was on running, you definitely can chalk a win up in that column of the teaching board. Come tomorrow, and when you're watching film, that has to go over very well.
Coach Shane Ketch might not be happy with how clean the play was from Glacier Peak, but he's definitely going to be happy with the numbers when he looks at them tomorrow.
Well, the band is still cooking down here in front of us. You can see the whiteout is definitely showing a full strength down at the end zone, as it's another W for Glacier Peak, taking this one away clean, and 49-3, the final 49 points put up on the Jackson Timberwolves. We have the next STSPN broadcast here will be Lake Stevens on Friday, October 11th here at Veteran Memorial Stadium. We'll hope you'll join us then. For everybody alongside on the broadcast, including my broadcast partner Nolan Dale, Ron the Wedge Henthorn, Todd Elvig got the hand on the controls, and I would be remiss if I didn't give a big shout out to our normal play-by-play man, Scott Ohsman, who had to take the night off. Thanks for being a part of our evening. We enjoy you all the way through the regular season. Again, 49-3, Glacier Peak with the W. Thanks for watching STSPN.